forgot to open something. It was the Twitch stream. That's what I forgot.
Hello, everybody. How's it going? Open that Twitch stream, BB.
Mike, I just want to make sure that you hear it.
It depends what I don't know. There we go. Perfect. All right, everybody. All right, there we go. Much better.
Starting the stream off.
And I could kick him and it wouldn't cause any problems because he's bottom of the video list, so it wouldn't really jumble anything.
I think it would still move us around though.
It might make your screens bigger until he came back, and then you'd all be back to normal.
Yeah.
All right. Well, welcome back to Star Wars: Fate in the Stars, Week 7. Starting an hour later, and at the same time, it is Maggie's farewell episode because Maggie went and got a big girl job, or she already had a big girl job, but a better big girl job.
A bigger girl job?
Bigger girl job.
I said a better big girl job.
We all know what
just
you meant.
never say big girl ever.
No, it's not going to happen. So our hours are all different now, so she can't make the showtime anymore, but doesn't mean we can't say goodbye to Trig first. So we will we'll see how that ends up happening, either via death or via happy endings today, depending on what choices
Somewhere
people
in the middle,
make.
man, it's just gonna be an extreme, isn't it?
it's great. It's great.
Death or happiness, I don't know, one of the two.
You know how we're gonna decide
You never
this?
really know.
We're gonna decide this by rolling for our
Destiny
lightsaber.
points.
Destiny points.
Oh no.
Force
Can we roll
points.
for initiative
Then my
instead?
fate is already sealed because we know how well we roll.
That's very, very true. Let me get the window up. All right, you are
I found
welcome.
out that we're not the like most unlucky group though.
What?
I have like this group of people I play Night Witches with, and we had a session where we rolled all failures except for 2 partial successes. And we rolled a lot.
Unfortunate. That is incredibly bad.
It was everyone in chat's like, and we were all like, maybe we should refresh our browsers. Like, we were like, what is happening?
It's that algorithm, man.
I mean, we almost died from
Ouch.
trying to go from a door to another door.
Yeah, but there was
True.
literal.
Squirrel almost got
vacuum
lost in
of
space.
I was gonna say there's exactly. I'm like, there's the danger of literal space in between the
We
doors.
can go into space now. This is they have such advanced technology that space
What are you
is like
talking
going to their
about?
front
Star
yard
Wars-
and checking the mailbox.
No, Star
Safi
Wars.
and I are already in space.
Star Wars tech is fantasy mixed with retro future tech. It's like garbage future. They're still using walkie-talkies to talk with one
That's
another.
because it was invented in the U.S.
Exactly.
Real Star Wars
It's the
would
same-
not be like
It's
that.
the same thing with
Whoa,
Alien.
Whoa! Why
The
wouldn't?
real future wouldn't be like that
Well, why not?
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, why not?
because industrialism and capitalism are going to kill us all. Run!
That's the realest answer of them all. All right, let's get those force points rolled, and let's see.
So can we sync?
Everything should be synced up. I saw Scott updating everything earlier, so
All right, still on
good start.
track.
Great
Oh
start.
my gosh! Trick's gonna die.
Who's the unluckiest now?
No.
Still us.
Oh, here we go. Roll Destiny. I was like, where do I? press it?
I know it's been a while.
Yay!
He almost balanced it. He
All right,
came
we can
this
officially
close.
mute Scott.
He did his job. All right.
No,
what?
not for that. For
Ogre
the
would be
Yep.
a pal and roll that.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna link this in chat. I want everyone to see what Scott just sent me.
Oh, I saw what it was already. He didn't just link it to you; he linked it to all of us.
I called it Wade's.
Oh no, I
future.
linked it to chat.
Oh, okay.
There.
Wade's future.
We've changed our minds. This is Scott's last session. Maggie, you'll
Right, we'll adjust times as needed. So if you don't remember what happened last session, a quick refresher was a traipse into the wilderness of this planet. While they removed the threat that they were here for, or at least to complete the job that they ended up picking up for a fat bounty of around 40,000 credits, I believe, when the body is turned in, they still promised the little village of refugees and ex-slaves food, supplies. They were running low. They don't have the kinds of tools and weaponry you have. And eventually you were pointed in the direction of this nest of creatures that has been causing them problems, but also would be a great source of food if they could get it taken care of. You got to mess around with the wilderness a little bit. You got to see some of the fauna and the flora out there. You got to see like weird electrical salamander things that were burrowing in the ground, and then eventually the giant monstrosities that have been causing problems. And then eventually you brought on the big mama of them all. You fought them. Scott, I think, was the one that was mostly torn up and tossed around because he was drawing the ire of all of them.
No, that was Siam.
Was it Siam? Was Siam the one that was the most fucked up?
Touched. Ogre had the shit beat out of him.
Ogre is currently at 12 out of 14 wound.
Yeah, because you stim packed a few times.
Listen, Ogre is currently at 12 out of 14. Siam, what's your health looking at, buddy?
I have 1 wound point.
Oh, you do opposite of what I do. I count down, you count up. Never mind. I'm missing 2.
I only got hit once.
And Doxy landed the killing blow on the final mother there with she got 3 crits back to back. The first crit killed, and then we checked to see what the other 2 crits would do, and they both also just killed.
Yeah.
She just opened up the jugular of this thing that had been knocked on the
Baller.
ground.
Maybe all you needed was Trig to be gone.
No, stop
Sounds
saying
like you guys are
things.
kicking booty.
They definitely kick some booty, but at the same time, what they're going to do when it comes to spying and technology and hacking without Trig is going to be a whole different story. But they were able to load a lot of these things onto the ship. They had the ship flown over to this area. They kind of blasted out an area of the trees after a few misfires, enough to get the ship on the ground, open up the back pad, and get the meat shuffled in. There was the smaller creatures that you were checking out. They had the sacks of like what you guys essentially assume is battery acid because of the way they were conducting electricity and managing it. And Trig was actually going to be messing with that in between, to kind of slicing things open. And then other than that, just kind of generic, throwing the bodies on there for meat. We didn't leave the forest. That's kind of where the camera panned out. And we're going to be picking back up with, I guess, the last corpse being tossed onto the ship, piled up either in a corner or organized in some way. Ogre, who is feeling pretty good right now, but his armor speaks a story of heavy conflict, Trig, when you see him walk on. As well as the others. Cora is actually covered in blood from being so up close to these things and cutting them. She's literally covered in this alien viscous. And Siam is also looking actually pretty good. Maybe he has a little grin on his face.
Do we have a medical bot?
No, you do not.
Okay.
We have a dog bot.
You have a dog bot as well.
Yeah. No, we have a dog bot.
The dog actually...
We have a Cora.
The dog
Can
actually...
the dog lick us clean?
Stop it, Wade.
Sorry.
The dog also limps onto the ship. He had actually went with them to fight, and he pops.
He got hit once.
He got hit once or twice, but like he was also not finished being fixed up either, so he wasn't in like top tier condition. But Trig is greeted with this view of his comrades coming back on.
I guess I first will kind of like run up to like Ogre if he looks like he's like, if his armor all looks like it's messed up. And be like, what happened?
Oh, not much. We just got the job done.
Are you okay? And like he's like trying to like look at your armor to see if you're okay.
Patch job or 7. It'll be good.
Well, take that off. I'll see what I can do about it.
I drop trow. I just remove all my armor down
Trig
to whatever.
is not like surprised by this and just like grabs all the things.
One of those what is it, Peter,
Yeah, we see Peter.
I forgot that. What's Family Guy's last name?
Griffin?
Griffin. Jesus, I watched Family Guy in like, I don't know, a year, I think. Jesus. Peter Griffin mode. Just kind of like turn around, bare ass, and just like scratch, like waiting for what.
At least now we all know what Ogre looks like naked. Just picture Peter Griffin, everyone.
Trying to paint. Oh.
Well,
And that armor is also like the best corset we've ever seen.
Oh.
that's good stuff. Also, so Maggie knows too, there was parts of the Death Trooper armor taken. I think there was a plan to strip it down, integrate some of the more useful features of the armor, right? Or
Okay.
refit it or something along those lines. We'll have to. It's been a couple weeks, so I don't fully remember. I have to double check.
It was a conversation that was had but not fully decided upon.
Yeah, but they
I think
did
Seth
have
said
it.
I would
so.
make all the final decisions, so I'll talk to you all about that.
The simple idea was wearing Death Trooper armor is wearing a huge like target on you.
Yes. Yeah.
But Trig could dismantle it and attach the parts on somebody else.
Yeah, you could still get a lot of usefulness out of it all.
Oh yeah, because I now have the invention too.
Mm-hmm.
No, but that's a one-time use thing.
Well, guess what? Here's your one time.
Yeah,
Something awesome,
That's
Maggie.
true. This is my one chance to do it. I spent 35 experience on that
Well,
stupid
don't
thing.
pull a Kyle and not spend any experience before your final episode.
Oh.
Oh.
Soon.
It happens. So once on the ship, after being, so do you want to give like a medicine check? Are you trying to like give him a checkup or whatever? Or I mean, he's pretty much healed up all the way. He just looks worse for wear. Or is there just conversation that the four of you wanted to have?
It was more of like, I'm gonna try to fix his armor.
Gotcha. Okay, we can do that kind of on the trip, more or less.
Like he looks okay.
So
The
just
armor
for the
wasn't
record,
damaged.
I was kind of like BSing a little. I did take 2 critical hits, so at some point in time, the captain is going to have to.
Oh yeah, what are
get
your
a little
crits right
handsy
now?
with me. So
What penalties do they give?
nothing that matters.
Okay.
Oh, until may not perform. Oh, I can only do 1 maneuver each turn. I
Okay,
can't do any of my double maneuver bullshit.
Okay, cool. That's just gonna have to. That's.
But the other one is the encounter's over, so it doesn't apply, but it's
Okay.
still there and needs to be healed.
Okay, cool. So we have to get some medical
I can't
checks.
heal that though.
That's Doxy has skills for that shit.
Yep,
Okay.
easy enough.
Let's take a look-see.
I just
I
hear
mean, you
Peter
guys
Griffin
can
every
keep
time.
talking.
Every time I picture you, like someone working on Scott's body now, I just picture Peter Griffin. I hear his stupid laugh.
So Trig kind of like puts the armor off to the side and sees like Nabu like is all messed up too, and I guess I'm gonna go check on Nabu and see what's like.
He's only got like what 4 wound points, and he had 1 wound or something. Is that right?
Yeah, he didn't get hit hard. The reason I mean he was even in danger is because he went out not fully finished being repaired by you, Trig. So you had basically taken him apart and were kind of fiddling with him more or less.
Oh no, this is your last episode to work on the puppy too. No.
Well,
So many unfinished projects.
I know.
Yeah, I guess he's just gonna go look and try to see if he can.
Yeah,
do
you can
anything.
keep fiddling and repairing with him. From here, then, is the plan to just get right back to town and just drop the meat off, then? More or
We
less?
should run over and open the door and just let it rain meat, just like meat from the sky.
I definitely do think that we had agreed that we don't want to talk to anybody from town
Mm-hmm.
because we just killed like their beloved leader and whatnot.
More or less.
Abducted. They don't know he's dead.
Well,
Probably.
Wait,
Yeah, that's
you
true.
know-
They don't know he's dead. They do know he walked onto the ship, and there was potential he wasn't going to come back because he's a wanted man.
we were just gonna leave like crates of meat. out
Let's
for
weekend at
them.
Bernie's him into town holding the meat. Have him set down the meat and kind of like walk back to the ship, and then we'll just go. He'll be like happily walking with us.
Oh jeez, Louise.
My bluff is definitely high enough to pull that off.
Trig's
There's
is
no
not.
thing as bluff. Never mind. Bluff's not a skill. I lied. Let's not do it.
I mean, you could easily just leave the meat on the outskirts, like right outside the wall or right in town without talking or interacting with anyone.
Just
You-
like drop them like little bombs on people's houses.
I
you
feel
know
like
there's
this is a
Meat
Qui-Gon
packages?
moment where there's always a bigger fish. We leave raw meat in town, and just this giant monster comes and like kills it.
just descends for the food.
We killed the wrong monster.
Is that what you guys want to do then?
Yeah, we'll just
Yeah.
leave it somewhere in
Okay.
town.
We would just leave it in town.
Easy enough. You guys pilot it back. Trini pilots it back with little difficulty. The storms have let up a little bit. They don't ever truly stop, but the lightning isn't as intense and the rain isn't as strong at this point. And she's able to get you guys back to town, gently land the ship. I imagine you guys kind of just quickly kind of take it all off, pile what you need, keep what you want out of the stuff that you want to experiment with, and then just immediately take off.
Can we do Maggie's idea of dropping the meat, but we could make like little meat chutes where we use like the veins as like strings. Just
Meat a shoot?
itself makes a parachute and carries down some of the meat.
Yes, that's exactly what you do.
Use your invention.
Well,
for...
I was thinking you put them in crates and then drop the crates.
Drop some crates. You could do that too. You could
So you're
absolutely
thinking
do that
loot
too.
crates. I was thinking cloudy with a chance of meatballs.
Also
I'm
plausible.
just saying,
Also,
Trig has an
a
invention.
valid idea. I'm
We
down
could
with you.
invent meat chutes.
One makes it so that the meat does not get damaged in the process, but you know.
Not our problem.
You said we got 40 of those like fluid sacks, right? The battery acid packs.
So
like,
you
40
got
of them?
you have a lot of the bodies procedure, like a medical check needs to surgically remove it without popping the sack, more or less,
Okay.
because it's under like a protected layer.
If I
Of
had a
bone.
nickel
I
every
know.
time I heard that phrase.
Hey, but yeah, you guys have a lot of corpses that you plan to try and remove those acid
How many
bags.
times have you heard that, Wade? Why? What?
Once. One nickel. Hey, listen.
That's not what that saying's meant for.
Oh. Well, desperate times call for desperate measures, and I need money, so.
You're about to have so much money, dude.
That's
Can
very
we
true.
start using that phrase more often to help Wade out? Can we do that? Thank you.
If I had a nickel.
I think
Okay.
he meant the procedure.
Popping the sack.
Oh, yeah, okay. I can't make that work right now.
I can't make that work right now.
Hey, do you want to come back to my place and avoid popping the sack? That's not.
We're really popping the sack of this episode early on.
Heyo. Heyo. Gross.
Up to 15 cents. Just
Would it be popping the sack to say I want
fix
jizz?
this if I could just pop this sack.
So, let's continue onward.
Cora slams one of the corpses down on on a table and looks over to Trig and says, "Try to avoid popping the sack.
Oh, why? What happens when you pop the sack?
We think it's battery acid."
What? We should get a bunch of this.
He's
Yeah.
like grabbing vials and he's popping all the sacks.
Oh, she's gonna try and dump it out.
explodes out of it.
So the sack is it's she hands you a corpse, and the corpse is just a bony looking kind of salamander with like a sharp beak and really thick digging claws on its front feet, and it has like two kind of bones jutting out along its spine that they realize can arc lightning. They can arc it. The sack itself that holds the what they believe to be battery acid is surgically like inside near the armpit under a bone. So you need to kind of cut away. You need to make medicine checks to get these things out without ruining the sack and having the liquid leak everywhere and do damage if potentially.
My mind just needs to get out of the sack.
So
Okay. Yeah,
I
you
imagine
try
it's one
that.
of those whistle while you work things where it's like, don't pop the sack, don't pop the sack. Cannot, don't pop the sack.
What? What?
You know that famous Disney song, "Don't Pop the Sack,"
What did you just say?
from our favorite Disney villain, Testicles.
Oh,
So, the plan then is to breach the atmosphere, hit space, and then start heading back to hand in the what do you call it? The body for the money, right?
Oh, okay.
We're assuming you're dropping the meat off either via dropping
Gotcha.
crates or what have you. That's a non-issue.
The money is for the dude, right?
For the dude. Yep, 40,000 credits.
Right. $10 bills.
It's as you, however, once you breach atmosphere and the clouds fall behind and the stars are before you, and you start to astrogate towards the core worlds and whatnot, all of a sudden your ship starts getting a bright red flashing light as though it's being hailed.
Looks
Trinity's
like
in
we
the
got incoming combos.
Who's the one that pops it?
Not me.
I could wait. I can assist her with my I can give her my medicine skill, right?
Yeah. When you guys are doing that surgery, for sure, you can work together in one.
I
one
think
would
he means
assist.
who's gonna answer.
But
the hail.
who's answering the hail
Oh,
that's happening on your
okay.
ship as you breach atmosphere and
I
again.
assume Doxy.
I assumed Trini.
Oh no.
You don't want Trig talking to anyone.
Trini? You want Trini to?
Trini's piloting.
She's piloting, and usually
piloting?
she'll usually look to whoever's in the co-pilot
I'm
chair or somebody else to answer it, unless somebody wants her to answer it. She defers to whoever's with her.
Okay, I would just.
You would?
Yeah.
Okay. Cora just reaches forward and flicks it on, and quickly do the display, the holographic display. You see 3 really closely pushed together faces. That one's sitting on top and kind of like pushing one down, gets pushed out of frame, and then the other one kind of pops up, and you hear, "Did it work? Did it work? Oh, I think we got through. Oh, we got through. Hail! Hail! SOS! SOS!" And what you see are 3 Chadrafan faces all mashed next to one another, pushing at each other, trying to climb over one another.
What are your coordinates?
We're at home. Is Trig there? This is Trig's ship, right? Yeah, I've been trying for an hour. Well, now we're through. I don't see her. No.
Trig jumps out of his seat to kind of look over.
And as you look over, Trig sees on the holographic display in the cockpit 3 Chadrafan just like trying to climb over another in a clear panic.
You just hear Trig start squealing a bunch of high-pitched noises that probably you're all like, "What the?" And then I'm assuming they also do that back. Basically, Trig says in his language, like, What's happening? Why are you messaging me?
So Trig runs in and starts speaking their language, and they immediately flip to Trig's language as well. And they continue to in a panic, like the waves, the hurricanes, they've gotten worse. The green one, he's angered. He's devoured our whole houses and villages on our island, completely destroyed. You used to pray so much to him and things were calm, but ever since you've been gone, it has been nothing but chaos.
Oh no! Trig kind of like just turns, grabs Cora, like gets in her face, and is just like,
We need to help my family.
We'll go right now. Let's drop off this meat and we will go.
We can start that water business again and save the Charger fan at the same time.
a lot of water there. It's basically a water
For
plant.
now.
It's true. What? Don't steal their water?
They need the
That's how we're gonna solve the problem. We just move the water.
Okay. Do I know how to get there?
You know, your planet is on the outer rim. The planet is called Chad, and it's mostly it's mostly oceans and islands, and you know, it's kind of an exotic place. When you turn back to regard them, very quickly you see a couple of them look up and like scream, and you hear like a crashing noise, and then it gets cut.
Trig gets even closer to Cora, like in her face, and he just starts squealing a bunch of high-pitched things, and then he pushes her and turns and like runs to the seat, jumps in, and just like starts bopping a bunch of buttons.
Astrogating.
So while Trig's astrogating, I imagine we all heard the high-pitched squealy.
Oh yeah, that was they were not quiet.
I'm gonna kind of like lean into the room and say, now, Captain, they're I know we gotta be over here helping the little womp rat with the infestation back at home.
But payday.
But if we do this now, what if we expire our current, job?
We won't. It's been on the board for years, they said. So I think we'll be okay. We take care of our own on this ship. We will help.
Trig is just astrogating.
Yeah, I imagine
this conversation that's happening. Just letting you know.
We do have a rotting corpse.
Put it in the freezer.
All right.
All we need is his head.
Listen, out of game, I had to say it. That way Wade couldn't get mad at me when Mike takes away the money.
No.
So now he can't get mad at me because I did my part.
I didn't even think of that.
To help out Trig.
I could absolutely use Maggie's going away as just to screw you guys out of 40,000 credits.
That's all you've done for 2 seasons.
No, you've screwed yourselves out of money.
Not this
Exactly.
No, I'm not saying you have this time.
Oh no, but we're about to.
I will drive up to Man Bun City and grass.
Whoa. No.
Erotic corpse. Sorry.
I'm just looking for it on the map because I literally have been looking for it for like 30 minutes and I can't find it. It's
Rotting
in the...
corpse
I
and
think I know
rotting
where it
corpse
is.
are two very different things.
They are, or are they?
I would go find Siam and clue him in, and I'd be like, what are your thoughts? Like, we have to go.
Payday, payday. Who cares about that Mayday?
What the hell?
Like, you can hit
songs today.
We've gone so far. We've come so far with no money. I think that this is more important right now. I'm sure they'll refuel us. I'm sure they'll make sure that we get back to where we need to go.
Was really looking forward to buying at least a raincoat before we went back to the water, but alas.
Not like dude's going anywhere, you know? We're gonna be okay.
All right, it's not like there's some evil, malevolent force trying to take away our money. You're right. We should definitely go.
I am feeling very karmically positive right now. Yes.
All right, I'm gonna need astrogation rolls from whoever's making the astrogation check here.
Oh, I'm definitely astrogating.
3 purples against.
3 purples.
Actually, for you, 2 purples.
Wow.
Anyone assisting? Probably not. You guys are all having a conversation without me. So.
Yeah, you're panic plotting right now.
Also,
Yeah, I'm panic astrogating.
Well, I'm watching you. She read by. I'm watching you. But
See, I'm
you could be inspired by the fact that I said we'll go.
Math is laughing, but I'll take it if I can get it.
Go ahead and roll, Doxy.
Yes,
Go ahead and
okay.
roll.
He didn't say no.
I know. I was like,
Quit
that
using
smile.
up
I
his
was like, I
goodwill
was
for
at the button.
stupid things and save his goodwill for our money.
There you go. You get a blue die.
Nice. Getting that blue die.
That's right. I only have so much goodwill in my bank.
I know.
I don't think I get any other bonuses to astrogating.
What you guys don't know is Siam's flaw is never gets paid.
What?
Oh,
Wait, hold on.
no.
I don't
Is that
remember building that in. Damn it! It does say that.
Oh, yeah. 3 successes and...
So you're gonna be in hyperspace for.
What does that give me?
It just shortens the time.
That's my
Advantage.
mistake.
So you succeed and then you shorten the time a bunch.
P
so-
and L are right next to each other. I want it to be never gets laid.
So from where you are, you're gonna be there in about 3.5, 4 days. You're gonna be in hyperspace for.
Damn,
So
okay.
you're gonna be in there for a little while. Unless you guys want to do anything, we can always just kind of get to the point where.
I don't want any frozen dinners.
I think Trig is so focused that, like, nothing is mattering to him
Yeah,
other than, like,
I'm curious.
trying to figure out a way to get the ship to go faster if I can, or, like, he's just doing anything he can to try to make this go faster. And get
Invent a
it
ship upgrade. There you go.
So what is it? How does the crew see Trig then? The first day, I'm sure the panic obviously is the
I mean, I
driving
will
thing.
invent something if I have to.
Cora would absolutely try to get your mind off of it. She'd be like, let's play cards. How about that battery acid?
Let's play. This gun needs an attachment.
dog
This
needs
gun needs an
a-
attachment mod. This pair of shoes needs like better laces.
Let's play
The
the.
whole time you guys are trying to like do that, he's just like,
No, there has to be a way to make this go faster. We need to get to them. What if? No, I can't.
and then he like takes out his like green fish. He like squeals a bunch of hyper stuff to it, like kisses it, puts it back in his pocket, and he goes back to like looking at wires and stuff.
Okay.
And basically, a bunch of panels in the ship are all just like off, and like wires are hanging out because he's just like frantically freaking out.
I like the idea of like the end of today's session. Trig is literally strapped to a table, and all the useful mods that are in Trig get ripped out.
Oh,
That'd be hilarious.
horrible, man!
You see it. You
I
see.
mean, when a PC dies, that's what you're supposed to do. Just take their shit. Like, oh, don't worry, we're gonna save this for the next PC.
Not just saying that because I have a lot of money in my body.
You do have a lot of money inside
Excuse
your
me?
body right now.
I spent a lot of money on just cybernetics.
Oh, it literally is
I
in your
didn't
body.
get
I
any
was like,
weapons or anything. I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
just cybernetics.
She's got the memory implant,
I
the
remember
appraiser's
now.
eye
If you look
implant.
inside Trig's underwear, there's just a bunch of singles for some reason.
So Trig, so the first day then Trig is very to himself. He's panicking, like probably going, like you said, going over the engines of the ship, spending a lot of time near the engines and either sketching up ideas, a lot of formulas being sketched out, a lot of muttering to himself, running to his like stash of parts and seeing what's useful, maybe sorting it, what he can use, what he can't. But it's very much like that for the first day and extends like that into the second day. And the entirety of the second day. Does the party truly try to get Trig out of it, or
I would.
Okay.
Cora would. She
So-
wouldn't stop.
let's see that interaction where we see
Sure.
Trig has a bunch of just things scrawled in books, maybe even with chalk written all over the sides of the walls and the engine rooms, and maybe even we see the green fish somewhere scattered around, or maybe that's still close to Trig because it means so much. But you come into Trig. Into the engine room where it's very stereotypical messy like Trig is, but Trig is a whole lot less talkative than he usually is.
I really wish Siam could have answered the hail because he just would have been like, "Oh, click."
Trig,
Rips out the wires. Our communications are down. I don't know what happened.
Trig, you need rest. You're not going to be helpful to them if
I
you
can't
worry
rest.
yourself
I can't.
sick.
I mean, I know I'm so close to figuring this out. Look, if I just put this thingamabobber and that thingamabobber, maybe that. No, that wire is not. That one's not like.
Trig, for your own good, if you don't choose to rest, I'm going to have to trank you.
Jesus.
Or
He
waterboard. Oh, too soon. You want to go fish? No.
He
Want to
stops for
trank
like
you.
a second, looks at you, and is like,
Do you have family?
Not anymore.
Then you.
Oh.
then you understand.
And he goes back to it.
I do understand. Trig, you're not listening to me. You're going to be useless to them if you show up with no sleep for the days that we're on our way to them. We're on our way to them as fast as we possibly can be. You have got to relax. And
The
I
whole time
know
you're
it's
talking,
hard.
he's just like running around and like looking at stuff, and then he's like,
If I stop, then I have to think about it, and if I think about it, then what if
and he stops for like a moment, looks at you, and is like,
we're not fast enough? What if we don't get there in time? What if
We're going to get there. You have to at least hold on to your hope, Trig.
this is how I'm holding on to my hope? This is how I cope.
and he goes back to like running around.
You're welcome to make me a mechanics check against 4 purple dice, Maggie.
I was gonna say, I lean into the room and like, Trig, you get around to fixing up my armor yet?
I will roll my. What is this mechanics check for?
As you're going over the engines and looking for ways to improve it, and whether Trig actually discovers a way or not.
All right,
Wow.
2.
If the ship was just better, it'd have a better engine. Huh.
If only we could afford such things.
If only you were going to get a big fat payday.
We are going to get a big fat payday, aren't we, Mathis?
We'll see what the future rolls, how
There's
the
gonna be a
rolls go.
mutiny if we don't get paid. This might be the last episode, everyone.
Welcome to the finale of Fate.
So Maggie,
Mathis.
as Trig is going over things and looking over parts and going over the equations, maybe after the 100th, honing in on this mathematical equation, the 100th iteration of this thing, constantly giving it minor tweaks, Trig is able to step back, take a gasp, and just think, I've got it.
I figured it out.
It will require, with the parts that you have, it could be risky, but there's a way you can bypass certain fuel lines to get the fuel to the hyperdrive more directly without necessarily going through some of the filters. The danger is you're putting unfiltered or less filtered hyperdrive fuel into the hyperdrive engine, but it'll make it go a lot faster. The reason it's filtered, however, is because it keeps it less volatile. But you can bypass it.
Oh, Trig doesn't even ask; he just does it.
Mechanics check against 3 purple dice this time.
We're gonna need that 30 grand.
It's gonna be. I'm sorry. I apologize. It's going to be. It's going to be 2 red and a purple.
Okay.
This is
2
dangerous.
red.
40 grand to fix the ship.
You also have a light side point if you need it.
2 red and a purple.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
guess
use
Cora's
it.
trying to deter me from this, so maybe I'm not getting inspiration. from
Cora
her.
doesn't know about it.
That's true. That's true.
The force is with you. Use it. Use the fucking point.
You just want to train starship.
Obi-Wan?
I'm trying to see if I get any other bonuses to mechanics checks. I can remove blacks, but that doesn't really help me.
Not in this particular situation.
Make a hard mechanics check to cause 1 turn. Okay, I know that. Yeah, I guess I got nothing.
All right.
It's gonna be perfectly safe working on a fuel line of a moving ship in
I will-
hyperspace.
Oh yeah, that's why it's red.
I will use a light side point.
Okay.
And I will downgrade
Okay.
you.
So it'll be 1 red and 2 purples if you're gonna downgrade me.
Okay. 1 red and 2 purple.
All right. Well,
Okay.
TPK everyone.
We're all gonna die. 'Cause I'm
No. If Maggie's gonna get anybody killed, we know it's gonna be me.
And we've come full circle.
All right.
A triumph!
Yes.
The
Wow.
ship is permanently upgraded with no risk whatsoever to anything.
Yeah, that.
Jeez, this is like.
You find the lightsaber. It was hiding in the engine.
No, the only way.
Permanent-
So but that's the trick, right? That's the only way he could make it happen. He actually had to disassemble the lightsaber and use the parts, and they get used up in the process.
No.
Oh my god.
So Trig spends hours for the rest of the first half of the second day that they're on this 3 to 4 day trip, just messing with things. And for a moment, as Trini is in the cockpit seat, not the...
We're mature adults.
You said cocks. That means penis.
As
Anyway, she's in the cockpit, and then for a moment, she actually shouts. If there's somebody there, she'll look to the person in the co-pilot chair. If not, she actually shouts back. She just says, guys? And as people walk over, somebody walks up, you actually see the hyperspace lane destabilizing in front of you. You see the stars stop streaking for a moment. And then as you're just about to drop out of hyperspace, you hear a large bang that sounds like an explosion in your ship. And all of a sudden, the hyperspace tube streaks forward even faster. And you all go lurching backwards a couple of steps as suddenly the ship is going at a speed.
Can I Wilhelm scream and fall backwards?
You're welcome to.
Thank you.
Trig goes sliding back.
only if
from
you
where he
actually
was.
Wilhelm scream.
Trig goes back sliding back from where he was, and he's like,
So yeah, Trig, as it's like you connect that final tube, you kind of pull a lever, you bolt it in place, you flick a switch, and you see the hyperdrive fuel going into the engine, and then the whole ship just goes. It's going at a speed that this ship was not meant to go at. Clearly, you can actually feel the ship shuddering under its own weight and speed as you're barreling through hyperspace. The metals the metals themselves are kind of jangling and ruddering in space, and it doesn't sound safe. But Trig, as far as you're concerned, there's A, they can't stop this without you doing it, and B, it should make it in one piece for the most part.
Cora rushes it.
Yeah, you rush into the engine room and you see Trig like victoriously standing over like a pipe.
Yes! Parts of our ship that were very important laying there, like, not used anymore.
If you roll a successful mechanics check against a 3 purple die roll, you can realize what Trig did. Otherwise,
I'm just gonna ask him.
I'm just saying, for those who see it and they want to make that roll, they can.
Oh, I want to make that roll.
Yeah, you're welcome
I
to.
want to see you guys make that.
Like a 3 purple mechanics check?
A 3 purple mechanics. It's not gonna, like, failing doesn't do anything other than I don't know what Trig did.
Well, since I'm the only one that
for
rolled
funsies.
them, I'm going to use a destiny point. Just kidding.
I'm not gonna stop you. Cora and Siam.
I honestly, that
Nice,
wasn't
you
part of
guys.
the- I was gonna ask him.
Ogre doesn't
I
know.
broke
I
the
rolled it
ship.
for
That's the
funsies
point.
because Maggie wanted.
No,
me
he was
to.
joking.
I'm glad all of us combined have such good mechanics.
Yeah.
Trig, you won't be missed at all. We can make up for your loss easily.
She would just look at the pile of rubble and then up to Trig and say, "What did you do?"
I made it go fast.
This doesn't feel safe.
This looks important. Is that fuel
He,
dripping?
like, he taps the ship, and he's like,
She'll be fine.
When we get there, you will undo it.
Trig kind of like looks at it and is like, he's just kind of like staring at like, how will I undo it?
I don't know. Based on this triumphant soldering here, I think that this is a pretty good upgrade for us.
Yeah, I mean, there's no, I'm not gonna say no. Let's put it that way.
So what does this actually do for the ship?
Well, it's going a lot faster.
Okay, so the speed of the ship?
Mechanically, what I will allow it to do, should it survive, is that once a in-game, I don't know if I would want to make it once a session or like once an in-game month or so, you can throw your ship into overdrive, but it does some damage to the ship and would need like a resting period and a protection. You could throw it like into a faster if you need to get somewhere really quick.
If only we had Kyle.
Little do you know.
That's pretty handy. Someone write that down on the ship.
I would write that down for now. Okay.
Yeah, who's got the ship stuff in front of them?
Yeah, so I guess
I can take care of it.
Trig kind of looks at it for a moment when you like mom him and is like, "You're gonna fix it," and he's like, and he turns back at you slowly and he's like,
What if I can't?
You can, and you will. You don't have to do it now, but you will when we get there.
Do you really want it to? I mean, if you keep it, then you can probably do this, and I might be able to make it so that you
Trig,
can...
you will make it safe when we get there.
Okay.
Thank you. Now will you
okay,
raise?
like nervously, like, Like he's not really sure if he can. Like you can see it on his face, his like weird, like bat face. That not certain if he can actually make it safer, but
she's gonna take it and she's gonna be like, okay, you did it. You made us faster. Now will you rest, please?
I'll try.
and he like runs over to the he like runs right past you into the cockpit, and he like sits next to Trini, and he's like,
How long until we get there?
She's in the cockpit though.
She actually kind of looks at the computer as it's trying to recalculate time, and it's not giving her an exact estimate. She shakes her head and she's like, I don't know, what'd you do?
Well,
and then he just goes into like telling her all the details about like what he did.
She's a great audience. She doesn't understand a word of it, but she's a great audience.
Yeah, okay,
That's
cool.
our pilot. Has no idea how a ship works.
She can pilot it, but she's not a great mechanic.
Oh,
Dude, she's killing it. She did some crazy piloting the other time.
That's true. Yeah, she sure did. I feel like her piloting should go up, shouldn't it?
How many people know how to drive a car but don't know how to change a tire?
Right, exactly.
That's just a tire, you know?
It's not that hard to change a tire, though.
I'm not disputing that, you know, but...
Okay.
Point being, people can drive without understanding at all how a car works other than right, go, left, stop.
But this is Star Wars cars.
Exactly, and it's more complicated than
Car
normal
Wars.
Car Wars.
Oh, no.
That's a whole
So
nother game.
it's got to have been a thing. It's whatever.
Mike,
Yes.
question. How
Answer.
long is this actual transit from A to B?
You guys are going to be in the ship for another 7 or 8 hours.
No. How long is the full transit from one planet to the next planet?
Oh, like I said, it was like between 3 and 4 days.
Ah, it's not enough. Damn it. So I definitely need you to have done a medicine check on me, Doxy, if you don't,
Okay.
if you don't mind.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a
Still hear it.
I want to hear
two
the
purple.
of
Okay.
you walking up to her butt naked. 'Cause you had
I
on-
have
you
clothing
check me
on
now?
now. I have clothing on now.
Yo, Cora rolls today. What up?
Yeah, Cora. We're all killing it pretty much, though.
4 days and 3 successes. I healed
Yeah.
7 out of my 12 wound because I was messed up. And I'm okay. We're good.
Okay.
Does that heal your critical stuff?
No, she would have had to roll triumph because she doesn't have back to at all.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Don't we just need back to fluid? I think that's something we had discussed.
That was the thing that we were planning on getting when we
Yeah.
turned in our bounty.
Trig, can you use your invention to turn dust on the ship into back to fluid?
What
Maybe-
a waste. No
Can I-
way.
Oh
We're
yeah,
gonna
I was like,
buy one.
That's
We could have
true.
unlimited back to fluid to sell to the world. Gotta
Okay.
get it somewhere.
So y'all healed up there, Scott? For one?
As good as I'm gonna be.
Okay.
We're good.
So it was supposed to be a 3 to 4 day trip. Like I said, a little over a handful of hours, around 7 or 8 hours later, the ship comes barreling out of hyperspace with a loud bang again. And you can feel the whole ship lurch the opposite direction. It sounds like maybe a panel came flying off the outside of the ship. And if you go and look, you actually do see like one metal panel kind of like floating off ahead of you in space. But the ship is
I look at Trini and I'm like,
It's gonna be fine.
she looks to you and it's like, okay.
Cora just keeps looking forward and like has her lips tight and blinks. Like,
Trig avoids eye contact with Cora at all costs.
Well, and you guys actually came out of hyperspace in the orbit of Chad, and below you, Trig, is the gorgeous blue, speckled with green planet that you grew up and love so much. And for the rest of you, it is a gorgeous-looking island, mostly planet dominated by water, very Earth-like looking, and breathable atmosphere and all that good stuff. In fact, Chad has only one other type of alien species, sentient alien species on this planet other than the Shadrafan, and that is humans. Humans, once the Chad ended up putting like starports on their planet, humans started moving here, started immigrating here because they love the seasons and the weather of this place.
yeah, nothing like hurricanes all the time.
And like all the housing. Well, I guess we're not on the planet yet.
Not yet. No, you're just seeing this gorgeous
Yeah.
this gorgeous planet from the sky.
Is it all
Can we
blue?
see
Or do
the
we still see
storms?
some green?
No, you still see some green speckled with green, like
They're
little
fine.
islands.
We can go get our
It's
bounty
like
now.
Islands,
Super good.
like little island. They're
Yep.
they basically live in islands that up in trees. So they're like giant tree village. Like think of like elven tree villages. That's kind of where they live.
Mhm.
Ewoks. I got you.
Yeah, very similar actually.
Oh yeah.
Very
That's kinda
similar.
like
Yeah.
Ewoks.
Also, small furry animal creatures. How strange.
We are small furry animal creatures too.
Do you guys cook your robots over fires?
I don't think so.
I don't.
I guess it wasn't 3PO. He was the god. It was Han that was over a fire, right?
Was it? No, because 3PO became their king, but wasn't he
Yeah, he
being
was like
roasted
their
at some
god.
point?
I think they had him on a stick, and they were like.
I feel like they had him at a stick at some point.
Yeah.
Well, they were going to cook them.
Yeah, then I just don't remember. It's been so long since I've seen Return of
Same.
the Jedi. So
That's sad.
I know, right?
We should have a movie night where we all just get paid and get experience points for watching Star Wars movies.
Can I get a piloting planetary from Trini? With
Did
just
you even acknowledge the
oh, what? There was a. I'm sorry, I didn't even hear the question.
I'll wait. It's okay.
What was the question?
No, what you said to him.
Wait, doesn't even remember. He was saying like
Wow.
if we had a movie night where we got experience for watching.
Oh, that was a yes from him. I got it.
Oh, okay. He didn't say no. Therefore, it's a yes.
A no is not a no.
I need you to watch each movie and write a 2-page report on the plot summary of each movie and what makes each
I
one.
wrote 15 pages in college. 2 pages.
Yeah, easy, right?
Yeah,
Easy.
we called it fan fiction.
Exactly.
But-
Also true. Also true.
And
See,
Han was just so hot over the fire.
I didn't write fan fiction of Star Wars. I wrote anime fan fiction in my high school days.
Nice.
Of
It was
course
Star-
you did.
And Han looked
Star
at Luke and
Wars?
went, "Nani?"
I did a Tenchi Muyo Dragon Ball Z Sailor Moon crossover fanfic. That was like
Hell
the
yeah.
reign of my existence.
You need to share
What's
this.
the-
You need to read this to us.
I can't find it, but I can find 2 other fanfics I wrote on the website. They still exist.
I'll listen to it for like 100 experience points.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
I know. That's why
I wrote it when I was like 14 years old. It was like
You're paying me to listen.
one of them was Gundam crossed with Zoids.
I've never
What's the
written
difficulty of
fanfic
this checks,
ever.
Mike?
No, but you play D&D, which is literally like fanfic.
No.
I volunteer to voice that.
Except for
you
if
want
I
to
write a
make it-
fanfic, I just
Yeah, yeah, we are. Well, I would do that. Just get a bunch of my friends to
I
voice a part
volunteer.
of that. But
As
then I would
should.
need someone to do like a really crappy animation to go with it.
I would so VO that too.
Anyway, point is, Scott, you play D&D. That is it. You can't shit on fanfic writers.
No, because fanfic has a certain connotation to it that I just don't want to be a part of.
What connotation
Oh,
is
he
that?
thinks it's
Scott?
sexy. He
Oh,
thinks
you think?
Well,
Oh,
I
you
didn't say
think?
sexy, but sexual certainly.
Erotic fan fiction and fan fiction are 2 different things.
only all
I
the
think
ones
that- I
I've
think
read
it's
with Megan
anonymous.
have been sexual, Scott.
not for Scott. They're all the same.
Can we see the storms on Chad?
Well, I'm
No.
supposed to roll the
Yeah, I need a piloting planetary from Trini, please.
difficulty.
Difficulty of 2. I know the planet looks calm. Do you actually say that out loud though? Do you like? Do we see any hurricanes, or do you just
Yeah,
kind of?
I would. be
Trig,
like,
you know,
beware
like
of the
you know
storm.
that hurricanes are more common here than they are on other planets, but it's not like the planet you just came from where they're constant. And when the tsunamis kind of hit, a lot of the time they seem to hit out of nowhere,
Okay.
so that you wouldn't necessarily see them above. And she, we'll
Sometimes
get,
they don't really last that long. It's sporadic.
You actually see just like Trig holding onto his fish, and he's just like looking around.
And you see Trini fucking expertly get all those 100 experience points she
Jeez,
deserves.
we got another triumph.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's gotten another
Yeah.
triumph. 2 triumphs
This is
in
an
back-to-back sessions.
incredibly smooth breach of the atmosphere, and as
Oh, she breached the cocks.
heyo.
About to ask
And
Trini if
didn't
she's
pop
single.
the sack.
Just gonna say that.
So like I said, breaches the atmosphere, and then we have Trig, who's giving the coordinates of her home island, where his home island rather, and Trini expertly, it's the smooth flight all the way through until you eventually come to your island. And this island is larger than some of these small. It's like a medium-sized island. It's not huge, but it has a nice-sized village with a starport with a couple of pads where some ships for trading can come and go every so often. But it's a tree village, but it's a relatively decently teched tree village. Doesn't look like the Ewoks. They're not operating out of sticks and stones and rocks. They're technologically spacefaring species. They have technology here. And your ship is eventually brought down to land.
I'm like thinking about the Jetsons.
Oh, yeah, kinda, I guess.
His boy Elroy.
Scott, his wife.
Dun, 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 dun,
But-
dun, 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 dun.
She brings the ship to a very gentle landing, flips a few of the switches. You hear the engines shutter down, and actually, as the engines do shutter to a close and power off, the ship is still, it shakes a whole lot more than it normally does after this trip. Everything feels like a little looser on
When
the
it
ship.
does that, Trig goes and looks at Trini.
It's fine.
And Trini just looks to you and go, "If you say so."
Oh.
Cora, blink.
Yep. Trig is just
Trig
like,
avoids.
How
Looking
did you
at
triumph?
Cora.
Half your ship falls apart. I'm glad we didn't fail.
Eventually, however, you get a little blinking on your terminal, and once it's turned on by Cora, presumably, or
I would definitely let
Trig do it. Trig,
handle it.
as soon as you flip it on, it's one of the security personnel that's been working here, that works here as part of the starport, and is just asking for ship identification. Do you need a refill, repairs, the usual, and he gives you the fee for staying here. Kind of run of the mill stuff. And
Trig's like answering as fast as possible.
Yep. Overall, if you just want to get refueled and stuff and docking here, it's going to be like 10 credits a day.
Yeah.
Not bad.
No negotiating. Trig's just like trying to get
Yep.
past it.
And then once it's said, it's securities. It said he tells security should be outside waiting, and you may leave your ship when you're ready. And why don't we stop here for the first break? We'll take our first break, and when we return, on to Chad and talking to the people therein.
We're inside of Chad.
You're inside Chad. All right, guys,
Sack.
go grab a drink, all that good stuff. We'll be back in a few minutes. Lots of sacks. Don't go anywhere.
I second that. Yeah.
I wasn't looking for compliments, guys.
No, welcome back, everybody. Everybody, tell Wade he's not average.
No, he's below.
Thank you. That's a good setup.
You know, like
Oh, nice.
Except for in height and intelligence and comedic ability and charisma.
in which case you just aren't even on the fucking scale.
What?
You just don't even make.
If 6'4" is not on the scale, then where are you at, Scott?
Really tall.
Yeah, I'm sure you are, buddy, in your own mind. You're like a Chadra fan.
Oh,
And I'm like Mortifer.
I'm 5'11". I'm a person.
Oh, almost. And it's short.
Well,
Wow, my feelings.
Wow, chat. Wade is just bald and needs a wig.
You're not wrong. See? Yeah, there you go.
Were you saying something, Doxy?
Here.
I said, ow, my feelings.
There.
Oh, hey.
I know what it's like to be short, okay?
But do any of you know what it's like to be bald?
Nope, and never will. But Mike's hairline's kind of riding up
yeah, I got my dad's widow's peak going on.
there.
Oh, boo-hoo, a widow's peak.
Yeah. All right.
It eventually makes its way back.
I got the widow's elbow going on.
Is it like the people's elbow, but for sad men?
I don't know what that is, and I don't want to know.
The people's elbow?
Wrestling.
The Rock?
Yeah, man, I've watched his movies.
Fair enough.
So anyway, we land on this planet really, really nicely.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Okay, bye, monster.
My voice just cracked twice in that sentence.
It's because we're talking about Trini. We know how you feel about her.
Whenever she pilots like that.
She pilots well.
Yeah, I think even Trig kind of digs it.
All right. So as the landing pad comes down, actually outside stand four various different Chadra fan, all wearing a uniform, sort of like.
Are they intimidating or cute?
That's up to you.
Right.
There's been some notable nasty like
Right,
Chadra
okay.
fan bounty hunters and stuff in the world, but maybe it's their cuteness that lets you lower your guard before they move in for the stab in the gut.
I'm just working on my fanfic over here. You guys keep
You
going.
know, use your weakness as your strength, man.
I'm a big
So-
Chadra fan.
Haha.
It's one of those sexy kind of assassins.
Yeah. The Chadra
It's kinda
fan
like-
sexy
like,
assassin.
Oh, yeah, say hey, hey.
Oh, that's so
Buy
sexy,
you a
Scott.
drink there,
Please.
friend.
You want to
Oh,
scratch behind
Scott,
my
so
ears?
hot. Oh, yes, please. Oh. Man, that's my aesthetic right there. Please, Mike, for the love of God, take it away before he
He's
talks
like, no,
more.
keep going. I'm trying to devour my food right
No,
now.
I'm like hailing mac and cheese as fast as I can.
I like the way that you eat your food. Would you like to come back to my place?
No. Maybe to hide the body after I'm done
Scott,
killing
why
him.
is every time you do stuff like that, it's so creepy?
Creepy dude. Creepy dude.
Scott has basically two modes. Like mode you can't tell if he's being sarcastic or normal, and then mode you can't tell if he's being creepy or normal.
Your answer is yes.
Exactly.
Was your nickname like growing up just like Creepy Dick?
What?
Because you're kind of a dick, but you're also kind of creepy, so just Creepy Dick.
In high school, some people call me Twat Gavis.
I didn't know that.
Is that just how they talk in Boston, or is that an insult?
Because my name's Scott Davis, and there's really nothing you could do with that. So it was Twat Gavis. I was like, okay, well.
I
That's
mean,
the saddest insult I've ever heard.
Yeah, like
That was
why?
high school too. Like
Scott,
that's like
more
an
like twat.
Malaria?
malaria.
Diarrhea.
What? Wow, that was like
Kids are idiots.
No one
Yeah.
fucking
Kids are
thinks I was taller than
horrible.
all of them.
I was
I mean, we just called him Mike because that was bad enough.
until you learned that my nickname at GameStop was Marty,
Marty.
and then you called me Marty. 'Cause that was
I
a,
Marty's a great
love
name.
Marty as a nickname.
I would rather have Marty than
So
Pepperoni
cute.
Face, okay? So,
Oh.
well, fair. My mean nickname in school was Little Mike because I was so short.
And you're a
That's
junior.
cute.
Like,
Yeah.
that's-
Well, I was like
Also
4'11"
junior.
until I was a junior, and then I finally hit puberty.
No. Your father has the same name.
Also
You are
true,
a
actually.
junior.
Okay, I thought you meant because like I didn't grow until I was a junior in high school, which is
Oh, I didn't
Also
know you were
true.
a junior.
Yeah, I'm a junior.
I quit growing my freshman
We're like
year of high
friends,
school.
and
I was
didn't know
6'3" in junior high and middle school. I was huge as a kid.
I was tall as a kid, and then in 5th grade, because I was the tallest kid in
God,
5th grade.
I thought I
And
genuinely
I also had boobs by the 5th grade, and then in 6th grade, everyone was like, they grew like trees, and I didn't grow ever again. I've been the same height since 5th grade.
This is what happens. I
Yeah,
thought it was just
I feel.
exclusive to like personal D&D. This is what happens when like a group of players who are friends don't hang out for like 2 weeks, and then you're just like, oh, dumb shit. All right,
Yeah,
let's
well, maybe
continue.
you should
All right,
have
let's
been sick
continue.
After your vacation to Pack South.
Yeah. All right, let's go.
Welcome to chat.
No, God, for the love
Chad.
of Jesus, Mike, stop eating and talk.
Scott, yeah, you want to play? Do you want to play the Shadra fan for me?
Oh, nice. Hi.
No.
Welcome to chat.
I'm leaving. I'm
Do you
out.
have your passport?
What the hell? Why is that their line?
Like
Why
that.
is do you have your passport? The line they say.
Like he's like, you know the puppets that like the like
This is
what do you
border
the
security.
ventriloquist things. That's what you got going on. It's creeping me out.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay,
Sorry. Mike, please take over.
so
Thank God.
We're
As the
all
landing
chat
pad-
here.
oh my god, as the landing pad comes down, 4 Shadra fan in varying different security uniforms are all standing there. One of them scurries up the ramp without even asking for permission, and boarding the ship very quickly and like looks you all. They're armed with a pistol by their side, but
Hope
that's
he
it.
doesn't open the
Trig
fridge.
just runs up, hands them whatever documents that he already knows they're gonna ask for.
Sure.
Like-
Yeah, he quickly takes them from you and looks to you and then looks to the other. He's like, quickly, we have to get you guys inside. Another one's hitting. We have picked up on our what is it, seismograph or seismometer or whatever, whatever movements from the ocean a few miles out. So seismobob, that's what I
Is
think.
the
Maybe
ship safe?
it should be fine.
Go. And then Trig's like trying
And
to like,
as you say that, as you like pushing him off, he's like, as he's getting pushed off, he's like, actually, maybe you want to bring it in the atmosphere for a little while.
Trinity, take her up.
I look to the other two and say, remember when we first met?
I was dry. Didn't come out the way I meant it to.
I don't know where Ogre was going with that line
We
personally.
crash landed,
Oh, okay, gotcha.
and they're like taking apart the ship. I was giving them a heads up. That's all I was doing.
Trig's already running with the other people.
Sure. So Trig goes with them, and they're going to usher you to one of their safety, like what do you call it, like bunkers, for emergencies like this. The other security that's there as well is ushering you guys off the ship, minus maybe they're like, maybe let the pilot stay, but let us get you guys off the ship. They want to get you guys on the planet, but if you want to stay on the ship, you're welcome to.
No, I guess I'm just gonna put on my floaties and deal with the water.
I mean, honestly, I can't move as quickly as a skittering little Chad, but I'm going to follow after.
Okay.
You could
Oh,
probably
rat.
use your longer legs and just spread them out more as you move and keep up.
Yeah, but I also move them slower.
It's like trying to outrun a centipede. Like those are quick little shits, but
You're like not going as fast, and like Trig's like tugging at you, like we need to hurry.
Okay. So does anybody stay on the ship and go with it into atmosphere then, or does everybody stay? Or does everybody go?
Trinity does. Or else I don't know how the ship would do it otherwise.
Yeah, Trini's gonna stay on the ship, obviously, to pilot it. But
Siam stay with Trini.
does Siam stay with Trini? Does anybody go? Does Cora stay with Trini?
No, I would go with Trig.
Okay, everybody goes with Trig except for Trini then.
Yeah, I imagine we're all going with Trig.
Siam, you can stay with Trini. She's been getting all those.
There's enough fanfics already. It's okay.
She's been rolling triumphs, man. This could be your moment.
I rolled a triumph already, if you know.
No, he didn't.
Sorry, something in my eye.
Yeah.
Just a couple sessions ago, though, I rolled a triumph. You can go back on.
Yeah. That once the entire series.
So once you all are ushered off the ship, you can actually hear your ship kind of taking off, and maybe even nervously look over your shoulder to see if the ship is taking off nicely or if it's rattling. And it looks fine. That's where the panel fell off. You can see an exposed part, some wires, some thick wires underneath. But it's still flying, and it doesn't seem to be rocking in any way.
That's what a triumph gets you. A lost panel, everyone.
Yeah,
Welcome to Edge of Empire.
the trade-off you get for it is quite good though. And she kind of goes up and just you see the ship kind of blink, become too small, and then blink out of existence as it goes beyond your visual range. And all of you are ushered into a underground cement and metal kind of bunker where there's tables for people to be eating at. And it's actually a good mix of humans and Shadrafan here. It's mostly Shadrafan, but it's big enough for humans, so everybody else here can fit. And they all are having conversation. Some are eating. Some seem not worried whatsoever, while others are a little bit more panicked looking. But Trig, as soon as you make your way downstairs, you might see some familiar faces here. Faces of those you grew up with, friends, family. And once those people see you, it's within instants that they all rush towards you. They haven't seen you in forever. And the Shadrafan live as a community. Everything they do is a community. Raising children from birth to adulthood. There's no real, like, mom, dad's house. There's just community. So everybody runs up and immediately starts kind of piling onto Trig, and each giving a hug or a quick kiss on the cheek or whatever they're greeting.
Exchanging it, and he's like talking to everybody, like remembers every single person's name, every single like family member's name. It's like a lot.
Your biological. Yes, please.
Do we need to roll to avoid like a headache with all this high pitched squeaking and squealing?
No, you don't need to roll for it. You just get one.
Okay, the goodwill is officially run out.
We're out. But as you watch, eventually your biological parents make their way over to you, Trig, and they lavish you love and their admiration just to see you. Your father actually looks past, is like, which ones you been traveling with? Like looking at the stairs as first Ogre comes down, followed by Cora, and then Siam.
Them over there.
Oh my goodness, they're big.
Yeah, there's another one. She's real pretty.
Oh my goodness. Are you their boss?
Yeah.
Oh my god. And he like hugs you and he pats you on the back. It's like, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Then the mother actually looks to you and she's like, so you must have gotten the...
It's obvious that he's not, so any of them that actually can tell. It's like the worst. He's not like he's like trying to...
I'm sure even your parents can tell.
Them, but he's terrible.
Yeah, but your parents just want to... They don't care all that much right now. The mother actually looks to you and is like, so then you got the SOS signal from... and she lists off a couple of names from the people that were sending off the chat. I can't come up with Shadrafan names off the top of my head. Brillo, Pad, and Slam.
Did you say Brillo, Pad, Slam?
Yes. Each individual name.
That sounds like a horrible sex move.
the Brillo Pad Slam.
Brillo Pad Slam.
Might have tried that one out.
Is that when you just rub your balls against...
No. Just leave it open.
Wade's balding head was where I was going with it.
Yeah. Just shove it. No.
We got a message from Brillo, and I think Pat and Slam were there. What happened?
We haven't heard from them. We heard that they were working on trying to make contact with either any nearby ships, and they're trying to get in contact with you as well. But once the tsunami hit their island, they've gone silent.
Oh no! Which island are they on now?
And they list an island like you could easily hop over in like an hour like flight.
Okay, well, whatever it's off, we'll try it. We'll see what we can see.
Yeah, well, the scientists have detected a lot of seismographic activity out in the ocean, and we're supposed to be hit within the hour. So maybe after that's all said and done, after we kind of collect our things and everything's okay, we can look. But things have been so bad, Trig. Constant, they're nonstop.
What happened? Why?
I
Hello
don't...
was saying that maybe there's something wrong with the green fish.
Yeah, that's what people have been saying. The green fish has been coming out of the water and just destroying entire villages.
Why would he do that? All we do is we sacrifice every year for it. Has someone not been doing it?
I don't. That's. And then your mom kind of leans in. She's like, "We don't do rumors here, but there are, whisperings that maybe not everybody's offering enough sacrifices to the green one." And now it's taking its vengeance out on all of us. Maybe it wants to start fresh. Maybe they want to get rid of all of us, and whatever species ends up dominating the planet next, they can worship better than we can. That's what some of the shamans have been saying.
Is this in a language that Cora can comprehend?
That's up to Trig. If Trig ended up opening conversation with Galactic Basic Common, then yes, you would be able to understand it. If he went rather right to Shadrafan kind of natural tongue, then unlikely.
I guess it depends on like what they did. I can be speaking in like common.
Cora would be listening.
I'm guessing that
like,
last line that my mom said.
All of you onto the ship now. No.
Sacrifice?
She would just be dying, just like, you're so adorable.
It's like a cuteness overload type thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh
Yeah,
God, it's gonna be
sharp teeth are like the sacrifices haven't been made this year. Good thing some
you
newcomers
ain't
are here.
gremlins. I was thinking fribbles. Like,
Ball. I'm into
Oh
it.
God! Well, time to attack the water. Go cast magic missile on the water.
Wrong game.
Damn it!
Oh,
Lightning
sorry,
bolt.
I'm
Lightning
being
bolt.
rude. I'm sorry, I'm being rude.
And then Trick kind of like makes his way past all his cousins and friends and uncles and neighbors and starts introducing each of you, and then like introduces everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes.
This is sacrifice 1, Uncle Dave. This is sacrifice 2.
Do any of you ask, like, what do you mean by sacrifices if you ever get triggered
Yeah,
on?
I would be like, you mentioned sacrifices.
Oh, I think that. Oh, yeah. I guess you guys probably heard that because.
Hey, yeah. Oh, yeah. That was
You literally just said it.
Yeah. But that was when the mom leaned in to whisper
Yeah.
about it. So I would need
Oh,
I was like, I said, I think we were speaking in common until that last.
that moment you would switch.
Yeah.
Then
That's the
none of
only
you
part.
caught the
okay, then
sacrifice
never
part.
mind, we know nothing.
Yeah, you don't know about the sacrifice.
You kind of heard it, but I that's what I think. If you heard it, then you did. But I
Oh,
think
so do we need to make
that
perception? How
last
hard
bit
is
we
the perception?
probably were not being loud with.
What's the perception check on that thing?
Go ahead and make a perception check against before purple, because this place is bustling with people. There's so much conversation happening.
Nice.
There you go.
Siam heard it.
If he knew that it was being whispered, I don't know if he'd ask right away. I think he would just be like,
Wait until the pleasantries are done.
I think he would have bumped like the companions and be like, they mentioned sacrifices? What the fuck?
Nice.
Hey, Trig, welcome back. We were just leaving.
Oh yeah, and so Trig's introducing you to
Yep,
his whole
so,
entire childhood neighborhood.
This goes a while, a good 15-20 minutes of just constant interruptions. Like, this is your mom, this is your dad, these are your siblings, but that's not your biological sibling, that's your community sibling, that's your biological sibling, that's like you're not even sure where he came from. You called him a cousin. He wasn't born on the island. He definitely came from one of the
Always
islands
keep one on
nearby.
me for
Like,
emergency.
yeah, and it's a lot like that, and there's always a little backstory to who they are in Trig's family, where they
Well,
came
and it's
from.
Trig talking too, so we know it's being overly done.
Yes, of course. And Trig is very wordy as an individual anyway. That's just how he is. But after all that said and done, there is a moment where you can kind of, Trig can be pulled away, and you can actually, if Siam would like to be like, hey, Trig, can I talk to you?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, you are easily able to get Trig to do so.
So Trig, couldn't help but overhear, I don't know the word sacrifices. What's that all about?
Trig kind of like looks left and looks right, and then he's like, then he kind of like points to all of you and kind of like
Pulls you
does
all
the
in.
Finger like come close.
Siam will keep a very close eye to make sure Trig's not gonna like stun him and knock him out or something.
Sacrifice.
Trig doesn't hurt anybody. He's like the most pacifist of all of you.
or the best actor
He's
Siam's
killed
ever met.
anyone. He's like, or that he knows of, I guess.
Well, we are supposed to make a sacrifice every year to the greenfish. Every family does it. But supposedly there are some people who haven't been doing it. And now they think the greenfish is angry, and that's why whatever this is happening.
What kind of sacrifice? Like, you throw some fruits and vegetables to the fish. You throw, I don't know, former crewmates to the fish.
Whatever you can. Every family can only do what they can. We try to give as much food as we possibly can. And if you have other things, sometimes the greenfish likes those things too.
Like, bodies?
We don't usually do that. It's kind of savage. But
You can tell Siam's like freaking out. Oh, not usually. That's good.
some civilizations don't have much else.
Maggie, I sent you a message on Discord. You can just throw me a quick answer when you can?
Yeah.
I'm having season 1 ending.
Yeah, what's going on here, Mike? What's going on here?
Immediate panic.
Here we go. All right, Trini, it's time for us to get off this planet. Trig, good luck. It's been fun. Well, so yeah, see, I'm just eyeing Ogre.
Thank you.
And
That's what I
Cora,
thought.
like,
That's what I thought.
You just sacrifice whatever we can.
Wonder what happens if you did sacrifice a person.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, me too.
most
You throw
people,
Mike in there.
most of us don't do that. Just so you know. I don't even remember the last time someone did something like that.
Oh, me either.
Cora's not really listening to you guys at all. She's
Okay.
just to random ones. She's just
She's
like,
petting
"Hey,
a
what do
Chandra
you
fan.
Oh,
do?
believe me, all of them
You
are
wanna
talking.
come
to
live with
you.
me?"
They're
She
all
loves
talking to you. Chatterfen are like, they love company.
The worst thing is I imagine all of them having Scott's creepy voice from earlier. Hey, Uncle Dave.
Okay. So Cora's not paying attention. Does Ogre say anything when he hears about the sacrifice stuff, or does he just not care? Does he know about all that already, actually?
We've talked a ton, so
Yeah,
that's
so-
something that is not super hyper crazy secret. I imagine yes, but he's just kind of taking this all in because we just willingly brought ourselves to a planet where they need to find a sacrifice and didn't get our money.
Yeah, we sure did, didn't we? The Hobbs got his gun holsters undone and he's ready.
He's calculating his odds. He's a smart man.
All right.
No one's been making their sacrifices. How will we ever make them this year?
Greg, why don't you come home to help us solve the problem?
You lead these people, right? They'll do anything you tell them.
Bait and switch.
It's been planned
And
since
no
day one. No.
Turns out it's not Maggie's last session. It's the rest of us.
Eventually, as you.
Wait.
That's right. Solo sessions from now on. Everybody else dies.
We're about to have a fucking Pinocchio in the whale's belly episode.
You might not be that
that'd be
far
cool.
off. So, eventually, as a little bit more time passes and you kind of have that conversation, you actually hear what sounds like rain begin to cover the island. You can hear the echoes of it as it pitter patters against the cover of the bunker, and you can actually hear it coming down. Can I get a perception check from Trig, please, against 2 purple? Oh, you're not. That's right. You're not good at perception. And the rest of you, a perception check against 3 purple.
What? No.
I'm not terrible. I'm just like, it's not a skill that, I had to find a way to make that a skill.
Siam doesn't hear anything. Ogre actually is perceptive. Ogre's the only one.
I fail.
Ogre, there's a very faint rhythmic beeping noise coming from Trig.
This actually makes a lot of sense that Ogre's the one that hears this because he's all like weighing his odds where the rest of us are distracted.
So I hear a faint beeping noise coming from Trig.
And it's rhythmic. It's pattern like where it's like beep, beep.
My eyes will like fixate on Trig to try to like one of those, try to be discreet to less observant people's, but catch Trig's attention.
Eventually, Trig, as you talking with people, you see Ogre's like staring you down at one point. You're like, oh, whatever. And it's this Ogre. And then you keep talking, you look back and no, he's still looking you down. And then okay, he usually doesn't look at me this long. I should probably go talk to him.
Then I'll give that like, even from across the way, that head nod, like that what's up, like the...
Yep.
I'll be right back.
Oh, okay.
Trig runs over. He sees like Cora, checks and like looks like she's fine. Siam
Leaning against the corner of a wall, watching everyone very carefully.
and then he
Find
like
the
runs
exit.
over to Ogre and he's like,
Did you need something?
Before Ogre replies, the whole while, Siam and Cora, the Shadra-fan are babbling with you quite a lot. A lot of mostly Trig's friends and family that he introduced you to.
I'm not even pretending to
oh my
acknowledge.
gosh,
what
does
they're
one of
saying.
them
I'm
ask
just-
if she's my girlfriend?
Oh, well, actually, the line of questioning to the both of you, basically, it's a lot of like, so what's he like to work for?
He's just the best.
Very watchful. Think of all the security cameras.
He's always been so observant. I imagine he'd do great in space. He must have had his eye on you for a while to hire you.
Oh, he's got his eyes on
Very good
everyone.
care of us.
He's a good captain?
Absolutely.
Oh, and then it's a lot of like asking how good Trig is as a leader, more or less.
Oh.
Oh, you guys went along with it. I was hoping
Cora,
that
absolutely,
Cora
I
would,
expected
and
to,
then Sian
yeah.
would be like, what?
Oh, yeah.
See, I was just like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. While like watching waiting for like little knives to come out.
Sometimes he's kind of excitable and hard to follow, but he's great.
That's what made him so good at everything. Once he got excited about something, he'd never, ever, 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 ever stop talking about it until it was done.
Oh, we know.
Family trait, right?
Determined. Determination. He's a genius, that one. Ogre. Trig walks over, looks
I
up to
flick it
you.
into auto fire.
Are you, I'm sorry, what?
No.
You're just like, brrr.
He didn't
All right.
lean his gun.
We're done. Oh. Okay, but Trig looks up and said to you, like, yeah.
Does he?
Well, Trig came up, and so I'm just gonna, it's one of those. I imagine not a lot of people are really paying attention.
Oh, no, everybody's very
correctly.
distracted in the moment.
So I just say the beeping.
Trig like looks around and he's like,
Oh,
As
they're testing the seismograph, Bob. That thing basically, well, what it does is,
and he like starts talking about like what the
Does Ogre just let Trig go off about the seismobob until he's done?
It's one of those things where once it's kind of like after Trig's chatting has hit the climax and it's kind of on the decline, that's where I know I can interject and actually get a point across. I'll be like, is it coming?
You're welcome to, if he's
After
clearly,
the climax, you look at Trig and say, is it coming?
he's clearly being persistent, so,
Gotcha.
Trig, you may re-roll a perception check against one purple dice now as he's pointing it out.
Okay.
Clearly, he's ignoring the fact that you just described what a seismograph does or whatever.
Well, I heard what a seismograph is.
Yeah, but it's not what it is.
Oh.
As he points it out, and you stay quiet for a minute, and you're just like, all right, I'll listen. And you kind of, your ear tilts. There's a beeping coming from inside your inner pocket, actually.
oh,
As you reach in and reach
Pull out
in the
my
pocket.
open like my
Yep.
coat. I'm like,
Oh, a thermal detonator. What is that doing?
No. As you pull out your green fish that you've had
That's
on you
weird.
since you've had this since you were but a babe, a family heirloom. And this as you listen to it, it's not glowing or anything, but if you put it up to your ear, you can actually hear something beeping inside.
it's never done that before.
Sacrifice.
I like hold it up to Ogre, who's been like my
Yeah,
companion for a long time.
of
He's like,
course.
Have you heard it do that before?
You have not.
I slowly shake my head no, and then kind of like look around to see if everybody else is still distracted. And I'll put my hand, like, which is much larger, on yours, kind of like lower it down, kind of keep it hidden. And I say, perhaps you should look into this in private.
Right. But I don't know how I'm gonna. I don't want to take it apart. I've had this thing since I was little.
Do you have any spiritual leaders or someone that you can trust? An old mentor?
Well, my mama gave it to me.
Well, perhaps maybe a private conversation with your parents then.
All right.
puts it back in his pocket.
And you make way over to your mother? Mid-conversation.
Yeah, and Ogre, if he wants to join.
Yeah.
you know,
She's mid-conversation, but the minute you approach, she immediately attention towards you.
Mama, I think we need to have a conversation.
He like
You-
he's like not being subtle about it because he's the worst.
He's like, of course, sweetie. Well, just and like follows you to wherever you end up leading her.
Okay. I guess we're like both probably like standing around and like
Yeah, it's like one big communal room. That's what this bunker is. It's just a big communal room with maybe like a kitchen off to the side. But you can find like an area where either people aren't paying attention or what have you.
Okay.
What are all those perception rolls?
Oh, sorry. I was typing and I didn't realize it was clicked over there.
Oh, okay, okay.
She's like,
what's up, Trig? What's wrong?
I kind of
pull it
out
out
of my pocket and pull out the fish, and I'm like,
It started beeping. I've never heard it do that before.
As you pull it out, you actually realize it's beeping a lot quicker in succession than it was like mere moments ago or minutes ago.
And now it's going even faster.
Your mom tilts her head. She's kind of scrumples her little bat nose and fixates her eyes on it as both of her big ears kind of tilt towards it. And she's like, huh, I've never done that, and I've had that since I was a little girl.
Wait, it did this for you too?
No, never, not once.
But you just said it hasn't done that since you were a little girl.
It says it hasn't done that, and I've had it since I was a little girl.
Oh,
my bad.
Gotcha.
Was that, you're the one that's good with the computers and stuff.
But I don't want to break it if I'd have to probably.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. And she looks genuinely confused.
Trig also looks genuinely confused.
The beeping is
also terribly confused.
It continues to beep louder and, or not louder, but faster and faster and faster as the minutes tick by.
I guess we have to.
It belongs to you now, Trig. It's yours to do with as you please.
Okay, so Trig is gonna try to take it apart, but like, if he can not destroy it as much as possible, that's his goal.
Sure. So this thing is made of what you believe to be a stone, a rock from one of the islands.
Like a green stone. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you could go the brute force route where you just try and like borrow a hammer or get a hammer and just smash it, or you said you want to just gently kind of rap at it and see if you can crack it until you can crack it open, more or less. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Just an athletics check with against average difficulty.
Okay.
So 2 perps.
So 2 purple, and it's a what check?
Athletics check. Just nimble how gentle you're being with this thing.
Can I get like Ogre to help me?
I mean, yeah, you could ask Ogre to do it for you, or whoever you want to do it for you.
I got a whopping 2 greens, so
I have a 1 green.
You know,
you could always use deception on it instead.
If you were looking to just bash this thing open, it would just be like a melee check or something. But because you're trying to be gentle with it and not bash it open.
Nice.
So, Ogre, takes this thing. It's pretty small in your hand, maybe even smaller than the palm of your hand. So you have to be incredibly deft with this hammer. But after a few very solid taps from Ogre as he kind of chips away at it, there's a crack that forms along the center. A lot easier than you were expecting it to for something that should be solid stone. And eventually you can kind of chisel away, blow the dust away, and just kind of break into it just enough where you realize that at the very, very center there is a small hollow spot. And as Ogre kind of pulls away the 2 pieces, out falls a tiny blinking red light on a sort of circuit board. Computers check against 2 purple.
Well, that nice going.
All right, I'll roll that too.
I think I'll be able to put that together again.
He puts it back in his pocket, and he's like,
Now, what are you?
and I'm gonna do a computer check against, what's the difficulty?
2.
2. All right.
Oh, wait.
Dang.
This is so simple. Trig looks at this and immediately knows what it is. It's an incredibly basic, albeit long-range, tracking device.
Well, actually, this is a tracking device. Mama, why would someone put a tracking device in your green fish?
She shrugs and looks genuinely baffled and said, I don't know.
The cult leader gave it to me. I thought it was perfectly fine.
You said you had it since you were a little girl.
I have. I got it from my mother.
And did your mama have it?
Yeah, it's a tradition on the islands. Every family gets a fish to pray to.
How many of these we got?
On this island? Oh gosh, there's maybe 10 or 15 different families a year on this island, so there should be around that many. But they all different families have them.
Who makes these goddamn?
Trig's gonna stand up on, like, climb up on top of boxes or something, and
Sure.
kind of like holler at everybody, and it's like, "Hey, everyone! Like,
All families with green fish, report to me."
So Trig gets on, like, piles up some boxes, and
He's not charismatic.
no, not at all. And gets to, like, on top to just hopefully do something to get some attention. And I will need a coercion or a charm check. Lo, you know what? You're trying to give me a leadership check. You're getting on top of this thing. You're trying to project. You're trying to gather the attention of people. Give me a leadership check against 3 purple to get the attention of the people in this bunker.
All right, let's do this dare. I hope I fail. Yeah, fail.
Yep, nobody pays attention.
Cora would see that.
You can take those threats too.
Sure.
Fun.
Cora would see that happen, and then she would go and stand probably like head level with Trig.
Yeah, you're like the same height as me while I'm up on top of these boxes.
And then she would be like, "Hey, everyone, listen up."
Go ahead and make that leadership roll.
Against
3 perps.
Thanks.
There you
Nice.
go.
Oh, Trig sees that you're helping him, and he kind of leans down, and then he actually falls off the boxes on top of you. And then he's like,
catch you and help you down.
because I failed so hard. He falls, and then as he's like in your arms, he's like,
I need all their green fish.
People with green fish, form a line.
They start scratching as they make their way over.
"Oh my god, this is like the weirdest scene."
So Cora says that with a commanding voice and yet still a little bit of confusion in it. But a few, like 2 or 3 of the Chandra fan begin to, like, scrounge around in their pockets, and they all pull out little fish as well. They're varying sizes, but they're about the same thing. And they begin to line up.
You can put me down now.
I did help you down, like, as soon as I got you.
And they each come over and hand. There's only 3 different families in this bunker. There are other bunkers on the island that the rest of the families are on, but 3 other families are here, and they walk over and they each kind of have their fish in their palms, and they're like, they look visibly confused.
He like takes off his cap because he's got like a hat on, and he like takes it off, and he's like this giant big
Yeah,
ear
you just
flaps
listen.
out
Yeah,
of
it falls
and then,
out.
like,
You go to
putting
listen for
ear.
beeping as you put up there. And so you go through each one by one. The first one, as you take a quick listen, doesn't sound like any beeping's coming from it. The second one, you go and listen. And yes, actually, this one is beeping. However, it's beeping slower than yours, but it is beeping. And then the third one you bring up to your ear and has no beeping on that one.
All right. Well, looks like just that one.
Huh. And the other 2 families grab theirs, and then the one family is like, what, that one what?
I think you got one of these bad boys inside your fish.
You know,
What is that, Trig?
It's a tracking device.
yeah, the other Shadra fan looks worried and said, who would put a tracking device in my prayerfish?
I don't know. That's the mystery here.
Trig, is there any way that you can, like, reverse engineer the signal?
You're a thinker, you. That's a good idea.
Who made these things? Where'd you get this fish?
What'd you say?
Who made these things? Where'd you get this?
Family
Well,
heirloom.
see, my mama got her fish from her mama, and her
Oh,
mama
no.
got the fish from
And Trig goes back as many years as he knows, which is about
Tiana's
4 or 5
eyes are just
generations.
sinking into his skull slowly as this goes on.
While I'm saying that, he's got like he busts out like a little computer, and he's trying to like.
Okay. So yeah, you get out your tools and you kind of clear a room on a table and you just get to work. Can I get, as you start to begin to work, can I get a computers check from you first against 4 purples?
Man, I knew I should have gone down the hacker route. That was a plan. Okay.
Next time.
You can definitely find the signal.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
Nice. All right.
I've seen you do crazier things.
Nope.
no.
Dang it.
Oh no. But it's not you can try again. You haven't botched it so badly that you ruin it. You feel like you can do it. It's just gonna take some time. Can I get?
I don't know.
You want to get another one?
There's something. Something's weird with this. I'm having trouble figuring out how to do it.
You're under panic. People are talking at you. There's a lot of noise. Your family's watching you. It's pressure. It's a lot. It's a lot on Trig right now. Usually Trig is
sweating.
Yes,
and
Trig
he
is.
normally doesn't.
He's getting matted,
Sweat.
wet fur, patches of fur as he sweats.
Every
Come on,
planet we've been
Captain.
on.
If anyone can do it, it's you.
You get another blue die though
Trig
because
actually
you can.
like looks at her and he smiles, and then he's gonna try again.
Okay.
So, do I stick at a blue or?
Yeah, I think it lasts for
10 minutes or something like that.
or you get like a couple turns or whatever.
There it is.
Wow.
I'll
So
take the green.
as Trig is working on this thing and it's taking him a few minutes, all of a sudden the entire bunker rocks. Can I get athletics checks from all of you against a difficulty of 3 purple?
Deception
Of what?
checks?
Athletics, balance, like a balance thing
Can
as
I
you
get
get knocked
a
forward.
bonus? Because I was kind of expecting this.
Absolutely, actually, Scott. I'd say ogre out of every. Actually, ogre. Yeah, ogre would. He's the minute he heard homing device or tracking device, he was worried. I'll say for
You're
you.
cutting out. I'm pretty sure you said deception check. I got you.
Yeah.
What's the difficulty?
3 for everybody. Scott 2 for his bonus.
I'm gonna fail this, letting you all know. It's athletics.
Athletics.
Dang,
Your
nice
piercing
job.
screech woke up my cat.
Sorry.
Aw.
Sorry, little princess.
Aw.
You're so
I fail.
sleepy.
That's
Also,
strange.
I'll give you the threat.
Okay, so Trig, you still succeed your roll, your computer roll, that this happens after. As soon as you're like, I did it! It's a large earthquake that it feels like as the whole bunker rocks and people start going teetering and tottering and colliding into one another. Some slide up against the wall. Others kind of just collapse onto the floor and just kind of lay as flat as they can, trying to balance themselves. You are focused on this thing, and as you're like doing the last bit, all of a sudden you kind of get thrown to the ground. And you can hear what sounds like perception checks, everybody here. Difficulty of 1 red and 2 purple.
Damn.
For a very specific thing.
Okay, 1 red and 2 purple. Everyone has the same difficulty?
If we despair,
Yep.
we lose an ear.
Oh, shit.
I am
Oh
not.
my
fast.
God.
Trig, no, your ear!
Oh no, I got it.
You despair.
We all failed
your
to hear it.
perception check. What ends up happening for you, Trig, is that when you collide with the ground, you hit your head so hard, you are deafened. There's nothing but a ringing happening in your because you crack your head on the ground. A little bit of blood. You maybe take a point of damage.
Okay.
So you don't hear anything. Everybody else,
A wound or a strain?
a wound for despair.
Everybody else hears nothing.
You just don't hear the thing I was making you roll to hear. However, you still hear what sounds like a collision of trees crashing to the ground, that notable creak of a trunk being snapped and slowly falling, and it just sounds like pandemonium is happening just outside and above ground.
They're hurting the elephants? Oh,
Gosh,
Trig.
this planet is worse than the last one.
Trig,
we should just move all the Chandra fan to the last planet.
that goes on for a few minutes. The whole place rocks. The whole thing sounds like it's being just utterly direct. You can hear the water and the trees colliding with everything. However, after merely a few minutes, everything goes dead silent. The rain stops. The earthquake kind of settles. You don't really hear. You still hear branches falling here and there, and what remnants of rubble may be hitting the ground. But everything seems to calm almost as quickly as it hit. Everybody starts pulling themselves off the ground, wiping what
Damn it,
blood
I
they have.
succeeded. I'm not pulling myself off the ground.
You did succeed. You don't. Whoever succeeded the
I would
athletics
start
check.
helping people up, yeah.
Yep,
Trig's
I
on the
imagine.
ground and he's like,
I can't.
You okay, Captain?
he doesn't hear you because he's like deaf.
He would like force your head into eye contact, or she would force your.
Mhm.
I think I would
Eye
just
contact.
scoop Trig up.
Okay.
Just kind of like, because Trig's in a lot of pain.
Ogre's holding me.
All right, then I would be like
Cora's looking at me in the
into,
face.
into
And
the
I'm like,
eyeballs and like.
Yeah, doing like a medical check.
Can you do a medical check?
Knives.
Do you have?
Doxy?
Are you trained in medicine, Doxy?
Yeah, I'm training.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and make a. If you want to know what exactly happened to Trig, you're welcome to make one against just an average difficulty.
Okay.
Okay. Very, very clearly, like you said, smacked her head. I guess maybe a potential minor concussion.
He's concussed. We need to make sure that this and that happens. I'm not a doctor.
Yeah. You're like, just, concussion treatment, concussion treatment, concussion
Hold him
treatment.
upside down
concussion
for an hour
treatment.
and swing him around. That should help.
"Make
Make sure the blood
he's
gets back in.
conscious."
Dark
All I know is that
room,
you can't go to sleep for a long time. That's
Stay
all.
Dark
awake.
room, soft noises, stuff like that.
Yeah, Trig's just looking at you, and he's like, his eyes keep closing, and then you're like, trying to make him wake up, and he's like,
Are you talking? Are you saying things?
She would start pointing to her mouth and trying to speak really, really
Lip read.
clearly. Yeah, and be like, "What happened?"
That's gonna be like a.
you like looking, and like,
Yeah.
you just see him blinking and staring at your eyes.
Shaker.
And he's like, does not know what you're saying.
Yeah.
You like elephants?
She would write it down.
There you go.
happened?
Core figure. They're gonna write it down. Data pad, etc., etc. Basically, Trig is gonna be deaf for a little while. It's not gonna last longer than an hour or so. The ringing will eventually stop, and he'll have his senses to him. He will still be concussed, however. Don't want to go to sleep and all that other stuff.
Okay.
When he's like finally normal, and you're like asking him what happened.
Yeah.
All right, and she would say, "You're concussed. Do this and that." Yeah.
Okay.
What do I remember from the computer then? Because you said I did triumphantly succeed in that part.
Your triumphantly succeeded was you don't have to make multiple checks to stop it. You got it down at one check. You triumphed and succeeded at making the thing stop beeping. So when you go back to look at it, it may have slid around and somebody picked it up. But when you eventually do get a hold of it, it is no longer beeping, and the red light is actually just straight red. It's not making any noise. It's not doing anything. As far as you know, the signal is no longer being transmitted.
Okay, I was trying to like backhack it to figure out where the signal was coming from.
Okay, I misunderstood. But you are welcome to, with that triumph, you also realize that the signal is being, now that you have your wits about you, being transmitted 300 feet that way,
Just that direction.
where the
that way.
when you go like up above and like back towards the beach area. Like,
So wherever whatever just hit us, that direction.
that would be Trig's assumption, probably.
Okay. I guess he's like kind of still out of it, so he's just like,
I think it's coming from 300 feet that way.
he like points.
As you like have it hooked up to your data pad and you're running some like calculations and stuff.
I'm just typing stuff to you on my data pad. You can see it on Roll20.
that's what's being sent to Trig on the data pad.
Yeah.
If you have a concussion, you might have blurred vision or even
It's
temporary
possible.
illiteracy.
There you go.
You want to go look? Should we? Yeah, we should. We should go. I'm
Thumbs up.
fine.
Thumbs
Want
up.
to go love?
Starts heading that way.
When you try to like want to leave, there's security dudes in front of the bunker. They're like, "Rule is you wait 3 hours after the storms hit, and then we can go stop side in case it hits again."
I like the nerdy Chandra.
Yeah.
The rule is you don't go outside
Yep.
for 30 minutes.
3 hours. 3 hours. You wait here 3 hours. You got 2 hours to go. For your safety.
We need to go. There's something coming for us.
You don't understand. The captain has been bugged. We need to go find out what is following him.
Very
Persuasion
bad.
check?
Contagious bugs.
Persuasion check against 3 purple.
I will do it. I will.
Go ahead.
Oh, wait. Is it not actually persuasion? It's,
Oh, is it not persuade? Oh, that's right. Fuck. Charm, coercion.
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 Did I do
is threatening.
coercion?
Coercion's
coercion.
threatening.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
So
I feel
charm.
like I would be
Persuasion.
pleading.
You'd be
with-
charming. Yep, you charm.
Okay.
Wow, good God. It does
will
not
take
take
that.
long before he's like, okay, But if you don't come back in an hour, I'm locking the doors.
Fair enough.
And he steps out of the way. He puts in a code. The door unlocks, and the bunker opens up to some stairs. As you're like
busting out that door, he does not want to be locked in.
I would just pat Trig on the head and start heading in the direction that he had pointed out.
We're all gonna go, of course.
Yeah,
right?
I imagine all 4 of you are going. You guys wait. Oh, the door opens, and there's a little stairwell that leads above ground. Immediately, Trig, as you step above ground, it's devastating. Though a lot of the huts and the trees that the huts were in have all been crashed to the ground. There's flooding everywhere. And even before you, there are a few Chadrafan who couldn't get to the bunker in time, laying on the ground, either unconscious or just outright dead, faces in the ground.
Run over to them.
You need to medicine check against 2 purple to know if they're alive.
Sacrifice! Sacrifice!
Oh, there you go.
Looking over at Cora like,
We need to help them.
This is what you all see as well as you step above ground.
On the data pad, she will type, "You go, I'm gonna look."
Okay. Trig, do you leave them behind for Cora to take care of and go ahead and see what this thing leads to?
Okay.
yeah, I guess Trig will.
So Trig rushes ahead and continues towards the beach. The tree line itself becomes thinner and thinner as you go to the area where the most destruction happened. Now, luckily, it seems as though while there's a lot of devastation up here, there are still standing trees and standing houses, and it could be rebuilt. It could take a year or more for them to get back up to a normal living condition, but you've known islands throughout the years when the tsunami hits once every year or once every few years, depending. The devastation is almost a total island annihilation. They have to rebuild from the ground up or move islands completely. However, this seems salvageable, at least. But as the tree line gets thinner and thinner and the beach comes into sight, and you get closer and closer, you actually see, simmering above the water, moving slowly its fin, a gigantic, enormous green fish. The fin is breaching, and you can see its scales shimmering in the sunlight, water rolling off its back. And in the back tail, you can actually see very slowly wafting in the water, keeping itself afloat. Its eyes are not breaching the surface of the water. There's just a gigantic green fish that seems to be maybe 100 feet out from shore, and you can see it very clearly from where you are. And it does not seem to be moving.
Trig, his jaw drops and he slows down. He slows down when he sees this. And it's like as if he's seen
God?
Like God, yeah. And he's just like in awe. And he just slowly starts walking closer to it.
Okay.
Do the rest of us see a green fish, or do we see the giant evil serpent that's about
I
to
started
bite?
heading towards the signal.
I was like, I thought Cora was taking care of the bodies on the ground.
Oh, no, I was heading for the signal.
Oh, I misunderstood.
Yeah, no, I was like, you help, I'll go.
Oh.
I start speaking to the benevolent God. Ooba, ooba, chama.
I thought we were doing the other way around because I'm not a doctor.
Yeah,
That's my bad. Okay, we can, we'll just, can we
We'll just, we can say everybody goes to the shore if you want, if that's what you want.
Well, no, if he.
They're just children.
If Trig wanted me to help his people, I would help his
Okay,
people.
so you would just need to make 2 medicine checks against 2 purple difficulty to know if they've even lived.
Okay.
Ogre and Siam, does one of you stay with Cora while she does this and the other go with Trig?
I'm going with Trig.
Okay.
I would shoo them ahead.
Okay,
Yeah,
so they can both. So Siam and Ogre both see this as well. They see a gently wafting kind of fish just out off the surface of it all. Wow.
What? Why couldn't you do that for me earlier?
One is dead.
These are children, Ogre. They matter.
One is dead. One is on the brink of death, but you're able to stabilize him.
Okay.
And the other one?
The other one's dead.
I would take their bodies
and bring them to the bunker
door and knock.
Yep, absolutely. And then do you head off to the shore where they all went?
I want to hear what the nerdy guy has to say.
Oh, okay. The door.
I would
Can't
be
let
like,
the children in for 3 hours.
I'd be like, I'm so sorry. This one didn't make it, but this one
no!
is in critical condition.
Dang it!
I'm just like, he's in critical condition here. You need to keep him upright. You need to check his breathing. You need to.
He shouts over his shoulder, like, We need the medics. And then you see a few of them, a couple humans and a Shadra fan both make their way over, and you know they're in good hands.
Okay, and we will be back. We will be back.
Okay.
And
Glad
she
that that one
runs
corpse
back
is in good hands.
Okay. And they're all standing there. Is there conversation the three of you want to have before Cora shows up? Because Cora's going to show up within 15 minutes.
Yeah, I'll start. Do we shoot it?
Trig, can Trig hear you when you say that?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Trig stops and turns around and looks at both of you, and he's like, he just looks like the most serious you've ever seen Trig ever. And he's like,
This is the great green fish.
Yeah, great greenfish just wrecked your house. I say we shoot it.
Calm down for a moment. This is a little bit more complex than the situation is presenting itself to your eyes.
We should have
Kinda
the
like
ships.
what we were dealing with the ancients before.
Yeah, we should have shot them too. But...
I'm going to like do one of those side steps so he's like half obscured behind me.
Yeah, you're like
Griffin body. No. And be like, how would you like to proceed, Walt Rat?
Well, let's see what he wants.
and Trig turns around and he starts walking closer.
Okay. And we'll take
I think I'll take like a half step forward, but then I think we'll stop and let.
I'll say, as Trig starts making his way towards the fish, that's when Cora can step through and see Trig walking towards a gigantic fish in the background. But we'll take our last break, and we'll come back.
I want
Oh, they do live in huts, Ogre. Do you worship the huts they live in too?
She would audibly say, well, I'll be damned. Like,
And that's where we'll cut, and it's like commercial.
Because everyone thinks that the green fish isn't real.
yeah, no, for sure she didn't think it was real.
All right, we'll be back in a few minutes, guys. Don't go anywhere. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the final hour or so. We'll see how it ends up going. We left with Cora seeing it and seeing Trig begin to take his first steps towards this green fish. Ogre and Siam standing back. What did Cora say? What was the closing line? I can't remember.
Well, I'll be damned.
That's right. I'll be damned. And Siam and Ogre can hear that from behind as Cora walks her way up. Do the three of you just watch Trig?
Oh, my guns are like.
No,
I'm
Cora
ready to
would.
shoot this thing.
Cora would look to Siam, then look to Ogre, then point and be like, "It's a fucking green fish," and then, that's it. And then she would watch.
Trig.
Siam would repeat, "Do we shoot it?"
I don't pull my gun out.
Cora would grab Siam's gun and point it down into the ground.
I don't have them out. I just have my hands ready to pull them out.
Oh, then she would touch your hand, like stay your hand.
Trig, as he approaches, does he just start going into the water and swimming towards this thing, or does he go up to the beach and then like try and hail it, like
He goes
wave
up to
at
the
it?
beach, and then you see him like put his feet. He like takes off his boots, and he like sets them like nicely off to the side, and he like puts his feet in the water, and he does kind of like this. He looks weird. He looks like he's doing a dance, but it's a prayer.
it's
He's doing a weird dance, but
Okay.
it's a greenfish prayer.
Does it
Cora's
last?
gonna try to get close enough that if Trig gets yanked into the water, that she could yank him back out. Or at
Okay,
least attempt to.
gotcha. You're just like there for
I'm not gonna
safety.
be doing any yanking on this day.
Okay, fair enough. So Trig dances for a while. Prayer eventually does come to a close, and the fish itself seems completely indifferent. It does not move. It does not seem to react.
Is it facing us or facing away?
It's
from
facing
us?
you. It's facing the island, but you can only see like the crest of its back and like the tip of its back fin breaching the water. Everything else is underwater. It's like 100 or so feet out
From where Trig is, or
Mhm.
from where they are.
from where Trig is, like 100 from the beach, basically.
That's
100
really
feet.
far. I don't
Yep.
think Trig
Like a third of
thinks
a
he can
yard.
swim that far.
It's a third of a football field. That's not that far.
Yeah, and it's clear as day where you can see it. So Trig finishes his prayer, looks up, realizes the fish has not moved. What does he do next?
He just kind of stands there and watches, because Trig, he's having a moment where he's like, "Do I go in the water?" Because Trig knows he can't swim. Like Trig is not, he's not a swimmer.
Fair enough.
But he's thinking about it.
Okay. Time passes.
He's standing there looking out at the
You
fish.
stare at it until either one of your party members speaks or you decide to do something different, but standing there doesn't do anything.
Yeah, totally.
Cora would not want to interrupt whatever Trig has going on.
Sure.
So y'all would give him a solid 30 seconds, then be like, "All right, so now what?"
I push Cora in.
Just kidding.
I guess if it goes a while where like nothing happens and the fish doesn't do anything, Trig will go try to swim. He's probably gonna drown.
Okay. So you just like, do you leave your clothes on or do you just actually just go for it?
You know what? Yeah, he'll declothe himself.
Are you
and
going
go-
buck naked?
Yeah.
Okay.
Great fish, do you accept me
Cora
now?
will follow exactly 5 feet behind.
Also,
Siam
buck
will not
naked.
take his clothes off, but we'll start to wade in, I guess.
I'm not wading in.
Cora would go down to her skivvies for sure.
Okay.
I'm not going in far enough to where it's like above my knees, but
Sure.
I'll walk in that far.
But Trig is going balls in, just all the way.
All balls, everything.
That's like 3 inches.
That's true. Very true. It's only like 3 inches up
That's
high.
big for a child.
But Trig plans to swim out to this thing, is my understanding.
Yeah.
Okay. Do all three of you plan on swimming and
What
following?
he plans to do is probably not gonna happen.
Okay. So Trig will follow. The camera follows you as the others kind of approach behind, but maybe not go all the way in.
I have a
Eventually-
respectful distance.
Yes.
I'm keeping 5 feet away.
Okay, easy enough. And Trig, eventually, do you go underwater and you open your eyes and trying to get a good look at this thing? I assume it's blurry for a while, stings like a bitch as it always does. But hey, you're island faring creatures. You probably go underwater a lot more than people would expect bat-like looking things to do. And what you see is exactly what you were expecting. It is a enormous fish, bigger than your ship by a lot. This thing is gigantic, and you can see its eyes. There seems to be pupils and scales, and it's just very rhythmically, calmly, just kind of swimming in place. It's emerald green. It is gorgeous in the sun as the sun kind of comes through and sun shafts through the water. It is beautiful the way the sun dances off of its scales. Trig is probably in awe.
Yeah. Trig's just like...
But it does not move and it does not react. It just sits and swims.
He's looking to see if there's something wrong with it.
Okay. You could do an inspect. I guess I would say this is not xenology because this is your world. This is your... It's where you come from. So if you want to, you could just do like a... I guess a knowledge lore check, because this is a religious figure that you've never seen before.
Okay. What's the difficulty?
Against 4 purples, very difficult, hard.
Okay. All right. Let's see how it goes. Nope.
Looks fine. It just looks non-responsive. It looks like it's alive.
Okay.
Could those advantages do anything in this scenario, or no?
Yeah, I was looking to see.
If you're looking for like a, if you're looking for a thought type thing, for lore, not necessarily. Actually, you know what? No, I can attach it this way with those advantages. Trig, the only thing that you can really piece together is when you pray for this thing, you always use your green fish. You don't have your green fish anymore. However, there was something inside that fish that seemed to, when it stopped, the ruckus stopped. Maybe there's a connection there. The tracking device.
Yeah, I think
you're just ass naked. You didn't take anything with you, so.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh, but right between the cheeks is the tracking device.
Well, I didn't want to take any of my stuff in the water.
Fair enough. I can understand. I could absolutely understand that.
Yeah.
You might have to swim back 20 feet. That might take a while.
He's just kind of like sitting there, like going up in the water, taking a breath, going back down, and looking down again. So he's just kind of like just checking it out for a little bit.
Okay. The time passes for however long Trig ends up doing that, but nothing changes.
Okay. All right, and then I guess he's gonna turn around and he's gonna realize that Cora's right behind him.
Yeah.
He didn't even know that they were following him, and he's like, "Oh,
I didn't follow. Cora followed.
Cora.
See, I'm like walked into the water and was like, "Fuck this," and just stood
yeah."
there.
But Trig was like so enamored.
Ogre,
by,
you're
like,
mute. Okay.
what was happening that he didn't realize that she was behind him, and he's like,
Oh, I didn't realize you were there.
Just here to protect you from, and then she like looks at the green fish and then says, "Sharks."
I thought you were looking at. Never mind. You're protecting from. Holy shit! Sharks.
I haven't seen a shark in forever.
I don't know your planet.
I wonder if something's wrong with it.
Do you want me to take a look? I grew up in a farm. I know animals.
he like looks at you and then looks at the green fish, and he's like,
Well, what do you think?
All right, I'm gonna duck my head under and try to see if I see anything wrong.
For you, it would be a xenology check, because you don't know shit about this thing as a religion. The xenology check would also be against... This one would be against 5 purples.
Not gonna go well.
That's very hard.
"I have 6 green in that, and I didn't get it."
Triumph and failure.
Okay. Oh, well, goodness, yeah. No, you've never seen anything like this in your life. It's awe-inspiring and impressive. And much like I was describing to Maggie, it's gorgeous in the water, but...
And also behind that is the fish.
Haha.
I don't know, Trig. I'm just mesmerized. I can't really check it out.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking.
I've never
I
seen
feel
anything like it before.
I feel the same way. It's gorgeous. It's even better in real life than I thought it would ever be.
Do you think we should head back to the shore and think about what to do? You have a concussion and you need to not be exerting yourself this much. We can come back. I'm just gonna be coming with you.
Okay, we can think about it, but I think we might need to go help it.
I agree. That's fine. Let's think about how to help it on dry land.
He nods and then like doggy paddles back.
She would like grab his hand and put it on her shoulder and swim back.
Okay.
Cover more ground that way, a little faster.
She just stands up and walks.
All right, Trig, let's go. So you make your way back. As you put your clothes on, do you do anything specific, Maggie or Trig or Cora? As you kind of put your clothes on, you pat yourself down. You still have the tracking device on you.
Trig is the captain right now.
True.
I think I'm afraid to like do anything with that thing because like it came rushing towards the whatever the land before, or at least that's what Trig's assuming. And he's like, I guess he just realized it to everybody else again. Is like,
I think it stopped whenever I turned this off.
So your fish is either tracking you or a robot?
Trig looks
That's
back out
not a
there.
robot.
Yeah, Trig looks out there and looks at Cora, and then when Cora says it's not a robot,
It looks pretty real to me. And I've seen a lot of robots.
Ogre, any idea why a fish would have tracking devices placed on
I have no idea, but what I do know is that tracking devices require 2 devices. So that means there's something inside that fish, or that fish itself is, well, something here's a little fishy.
How big are the fishing poles on this planet?
Not that big.
Trig, you have 2 of these
Trig like
devices,
legit
right?
gives you like a measurement of how big the fishing poles are.
Well, some of them are this.
And then he's like,
And others are this because, humans are much taller than this Chandra. We
Trig,
also have really small ones for the little ones.
It was a joke.
Them how to fish.
It was not a real thought. It's not a real thought.
Trig, you have 2 of these devices, right?
did I take? I didn't take the one from the other.
You didn't take it out of the fish, no.
Yeah, but I have it.
Yeah, he handed it over.
Okay.
Well, yeah, there's another one inside here, but
It's beeping. It is
it's
beeping.
not beeping as fast as
Correct.
this
What
one
if
was.
what if we take that out to the fish?
This one?
The beeping one.
Well, I can't really go out in the water with it.
It's encased in stone. Should be fine. I could hold it above the water if you want. I could hold you above the water. You could just ride on my back. You could hold it up.
And then what?
We see
How
what
often-
the fish does.
How often do these sacrifices take place?
Every year.
One time.
Yep, it's an annual thing.
How often do the downpours and earthquakes and storms happen?
Well, those happen all the time.
Still trying to wrap my brain around a fish with a tracking device.
So does Trig want to head to the water with this thing?
Sure.
Sure.
He'll take the advice of Cora and try it out. He doesn't know what to do either.
Yeah.
So he's pretty confused.
Does Trig just go under the water? Or does he do the prayer with the thing first?
He's gonna do the prayer with the thing first.
Sure.
We'll even teach Cora the prayer if she's interested.
Cora would 100% be all about doing the fishy dance.
Yeah, Ogre, no way.
Siam and Ogre are gonna talk about anything else.
Sure.
I like that Siam and Ogre look at each other like.
No.
I'll actually gesture to his pack, silently asking if he brought beer.
He'll smile and nod.
We will crack a cold one and watch the show.
There's a super hot wet chick on the beach in her underwear
You can
dancing.
watch the show.
Oh, okay.
And so the dance
They're
and
not
prayer
watching
begins
Trig,
again.
That's for sure.
Yeah, we're not watching the sack.
When the prayer is finished after a few minutes and Cora is following along pretty well actually. Once it's done,
You don't have to do a performance.
No, yeah, I mean if you want to. Once it's done,
what would that role be?
I feel like mine would be charm.
I imagine charm is probably a good way to go.
Oh yeah, charm. Yeah, I'm not very charming.
No,
You did go against 4.
that's
I'm
also
making
true.
a wet Chandra fan.
It would be against 2. 2 is always average.
Just
Yeah,
naked, wet Chandra. Oh my god.
Yeah, well, Cora's
Oh.
like drop dead fucking gorgeous. So there you
I'll
go.
take the strain too.
Yeah, easy enough. There you go. You both perform admirably.
Yeah, Cora's like doing it perfect.
Ogre's got to clean his gun again.
But after once the dance is done, the prayer always ends with you holding the fish in both palms and holding it outward.
Yeah.
And then after that's done, you actually can feel a slight rumble. There are waves emanating kind of outwardly from the fish itself as it's clearly starting to move.
Yeah, Trig's holding it out, and he looks at Cora as she's holding her hands out too, and he's like,
You're really good.
Thanks, but this, and she's like excited, and she like grabs his hand and like throws him on her back, and is just like, "Are you ready?"
and he's still holding his hand out.
The fish begins to slowly rise above the water further and further. Its eyes breach through, and eventually about half its body is out. And very slowly, and its mouth creaks open and then opens up as wide as it can. And it swims closer to the beach, about halfway, 50 feet now. And it stops and continues to slowly do this with its mouth open.
Cora's gonna slide you right back off her back.
Trig is gonna start swimming towards it.
Okay.
Can we see into the mouth at all from where
It's
we are?
black. It's pitch black.
Okay.
Cora's gonna follow behind at 1 foot.
Ogre, you got one of those grenades on you?
Ogre's got like 3 out. He's like, yeah.
I toss a grenade to him. It's
like
too
this
heavy
mouth
for
so
him, so
big,
he drops
it's
it.
in
You
the
know.
I love their conversation in the background. They're drinking a beer, watching this dance, and then he's like, "Got grenades on you?"
It's so nonchalant.
This is like a cartoon. I love it.
Just naked Trig, underwear Cora, us two sipping beers, watching and holding grenades.
Trig's swimming in. Cora's about a foot behind. What about are you two staying on the beach?
Yep.
For now, yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
So Trig swims closer and closer to this fish
until
until
my companion just got naked and swam toward a giant fish with open mouth. I don't know that I would follow. Right
a lot
away.
like islands in the middle of nowhere on Earth. The beach kind of goes out until it just drops, and then it's just deep water. And eventually you cross that threshold, and once you cross that threshold, it's in a few feet. The fish makes one quick move. Its tail swims once, and within a moment, gulps. Not only Trig, but dear old Cora, because she's only a foot behind, gets swallowed into this thing's mouth. It slams shut. Siam and Ogre, what you see after that slam shut is the fish just slowly go brrr, and begin to sink into the water.
Oh.
I love Daxie's look at her face. She's like, oh.
Siam's gonna just hand Ogre back the grenade.
Do blaster rifles work underwater, and for how far?
I think there's a penalty, and they have a shorter distance. I imagine my penalty would be like a 1 range band decrease in its normal range.
Okay. I turn to
What
Siam
am
and
I
say,
seeing? Oh, sorry.
Nothing right now. Blackness. When the mouth closes, the two of you are in just complete blackness in water. So that's where you're at right now.
We
Continue.
need another fish.
I turn to Siam and say, do we have a boat?
I will just look around to see if there's someone's boat or something that looks like a boat.
There's a lot of destroyed like rowboats and stuff like that. But there's a couple that are upside down or capsized that you could flip over. No, but like a little speeder boat. You know, like a speeder made for the water.
Great. Yeah, right here. Perfectly fit size to fit into the mouth of a fish.
All right. And we don't have a tracker either, do we?
Yeah, you do. You
The
still have
record?
hers.
Oh, sorry. Okay, we still have hers.
Yeah, she have the one that was outside
Yeah, all
the
my
fish.
stuff is still.
Yeah.
I took off my clothes.
Mm-hmm.
For the record,
I will-
I'm not doing that dance.
I will clamber over to the boat, hop on in,
Okay.
look at Siam expectantly.
Do you have the tracker? Do you take the tracker?
I'm probably gonna go grab all of their stuff and put it on the boat.
Oh, I wasn't taking her clothes.
Siam grabs all of their stuff and gets on the boat.
Have you ever seen any aquatic movie ever? The hot girl gets mostly naked and stays that way the rest of the movie while all the guys stay dressed.
You can throw her clothes back off the boat. I'm just saying I grabbed them and put them on the boat. What you do with them at this point is up to you.
And so we will, at the surface of the water, follow along.
Is there a spear gun on this boat or something? Do we have like a guy who's looks kind of like the Jaws guy on the boat, or is there? Is Moby Dick standing around here like, I knew that fish was real?
And that's just you, Siam.
I knew that. No,
So you put the speeder thing on, and you kind of bring the boat out to the middle of the water. You actually Trig and Cora feel the pressure of the water kind of like getting more and more on you for a little while before, for a moment, it stops, and then you feel the pressure alleviate a bit. You get jostled around. It's still filled with water. You've been holding your breath this whole time. It's been maybe a minute or so, and then at some point you actually do see light. As you're getting tossed and turned around, you actually look above you now, and you see what looks like the surface of the water. Oh, that's the mouth opening. Oh, is that a speck of that might be a boat? And then Ogre and Siam, you just see this shadow of a leviathan beneath you rise from the water. Its mouth agape. You try to speed away even as hard you may, but it breaches the water and snaps shut.
He's
and then
piloting.
plunges
another one.
Plunges into the water with you.
This is the worst idea in the history of bad ideas for the record party.
I would start swimming towards the light.
Oh, you never get there. Before the mouth closes again and you can't see anything, and then you begin to sink again.
Can I make, like, because I'm a weird Chatterfawn creature,
Yes.
can I make high-pitched noises like
Sonar?
like the Chatterfawn talk, like how they speak in like high-pitched sounds?
Mm-hmm.
Can I talk in that?
Underwater?
Yeah, underwater.
Not right now. You're having you can't really say much. But once they've been engulfed and the boat gets flipped around with them, you also feel the pressure begin to build as it feels like you're being brought lower and lower. Eventually, yes.
They will probably all hear me flick a grenade live.
Oh, yeah, you would be able to hear the beep underwater.
Mm-hmm. Beep. Beep.
it's muffled, but you can hear it.
And I will say, in whatever cavernous area we're in, where are y'all at so I can throw it?
Oh, you're underwater. You can't say anything yet.
Oh, is that where?
No.
We're in the fish?
You are in the fish, but his mouth is still filled with water as he kind of glopped you and crashed you
They're on
under.
the boat, right?
They were on the boat. The boat got swallowed, but they got tossed off of it. They're just like in
okay.
water right now.
Siam still has the beer bottle around his mouth, and he's trying his best not to let the other water in it.
What time of day was it when this all took place?
Somewhere after like 2 or 3 p.m. ish type deal.
Mm-hmm. So we don't have any lights on us at the moment. Okay.
No.
Does Thorn work underwater?
It yes, but you would electrify the water.
Well, it's not electricity; it's heat, isn't it?
I thought Thorn had a crackling energy at the tip of it.
I thought it was.
Take a look here.
I thought Thorn was like in the Han Solo movie where it was like a lightsaber at the edge.
The crackling tip
haven't
is
the
Ogre
Thorn
when he watched
of
Cora
Ryloth.
dance.
Like, hey, Ogre's into homogeny. He doesn't think species should mix. You know?
I'm just saying, you were watching pretty intently.
I like the two.
I didn't need to roll a perception
I just
check to see
love that you're both the two like dog-looking creatures, and you're like the interactions between the two of you are just so funny to me.
They are real good.
I'm imagining like two house dogs, like different type of dogs, like having a conversation together. Just cracks me.
He's definitely the
He'd be
poodle.
the yellow lab.
I'll
very
take yellow
much
lab,
see-
but you're the poodle.
Ogre as like a bulldog.
Yeah, me too.
And I see Siam as like a black husky.
Oh, see, I see Siam as just a Bothan in my head. He's just like a horse-dog combo.
Well, fuck you too.
Well, that's what you are. You're a
He's a furry's
Bothan.
wet dream. He's a
I'm
furry's
not a
wet
horse
dream.
dog.
That's what Bothans are.
I'm a black husky.
They're horse cat dogs.
Did you find out
Where you fucking
if Cora's weapon is electricity or heat?
No.
Okay.
It doesn't say.
You could, and even if it was electricity, it probably wouldn't do too much, but you could.
Okay. Well, I would fucking start stabbing the mouth of this fish.
Ah, okay. So you swim to the nearest edge you can and start to jam it into the fleshy interior.
Trig is just like,
And you do. You
I
start.
always wanted to go.
Oh, yeah, Trig
I
is just like,
want to die.
You stabbing away. Doesn't seem to react. However,
you're trying to like carve your
As
way
the
out.
pressure-
Trig is just like swimming, just like
Like tranquilly.
yeah.
as the pressure is building and the water is starting to get to the point where now you can't breathe, you need to breathe or you're going to drown, the water level slowly but surely begins to drain. Scott, you look confused.
I stop stabbing.
As the water comes down to over your heads, and then eventually you can stand above it until it is fully drained completely. On the roof of this thing's mouths, bioluminescent lights cover the ridge that would be like the middle of its mouth, and it arches all the way back to where its throat would be, lighting up the interior of this thing's
As
body.
I see the lights, you just hear Trig somewhere going like,
Immediately, as you look around, it is fleshy, it is pulsing, it looks as though it is truly alive. There is a clear representation of a bloodstream, like veins throughout its body, and just the way it's acting and the way it feels beneath you. It is fleshy interior. It is not like a robot. But could I please get a computers check? Or no, computers or mechanics. Mechanics would be easier, though. A mechanics check against a 3 purple, while computers would be against 4.
Trig or
But
all?
not until
All 4 of
after-
you, as you see the interior of this fish's mouth, essentially.
Not until after Cora says,
Oh,
Trig, get us the fuck out of here.
Very inspiring. Well, it works.
Okay. Computers against 3 purple, 4
Oh.
purple, you said?
Uh,
I failed that. But it's perfect that he failed it. Trig's just like so distracted, and he's just like,
3 successes
Why
flat.
would you ever want to leave?
hang on a second. I'm looking at everybody's roll here.
I got 3 successes flat because advantage and disadvantage will cancel out. Because I rolled the blue die separately.
Gotcha. What about Ogre? Did Ogre roll?
and then Trig looks at Cora because, like, I guess you're the last person to talk to me, so I hear the direction of where you are. And I can see you, and I'm like,
It's chosen us.
and he's gonna start walking.
Just start walking. Well, Siam, you're the only one that, as you're looking through this body, and you run your hands maybe even along it, or don't because it's gross, but you get a better look at it. And you look at the bioluminescent lights lining the ridge of this thing's mouth. This thing is very clearly alive. There's no question in your mind that this thing is living. But similar to, I guess, how you would look at Trig in some way, as you look at the bioluminescent lights and you start to examine a little closer, it's clear that they were put in artificially. That there are aspects of this fish that are robotic, cybernetic. It's real, but it's also not fully
That's why
organic.
they sacrifices.
Uh-oh. We're about to peel back the curtain.
I'll let them all know. Be like, so Trig, the green fish has some cybernetic enhancements. That's kind of interesting.
So do I.
What?
Trig keeps walking.
You just keep walking towards the back of its mouth.
Is it really wise just to follow? I mean, at this point, this is like ogre around a hut.
Yeah, no, I want out. I want to go home. I miss my ship.
Again, how I feel whenever ogre's near a hut.
Siam brought you clothes. And then I'm gonna go follow Trig.
Like how sadly you said that.
I would find the clothes and put them on. They're
Don't
wet
stress.
This is in a
now,
Waterworld
whatever.
movie. Sorry, ogre.
Are they shredded?
Yeah, I'll shred it. I'll just shred. Sorry. Nope.
I thought Mathis said that.
No, I didn't say that.
While
I'm
we
not
were in the
that
boat,
mean.
Scott was just like, oh no, the fish got them.
He digested them.
Wrapped them all around a grenade and just oh.
They just go, just poof everywhere. Confetti. Cora confetti.
In fact, I need the rest of what you got to protect this grenade.
Eventually, as Trig moves towards the back of this thing's mouth,
A grenade would have been safe to do in the water because you said the pressure was increasing. So
Yeah.
more pressure.
Yeah.
I could have got a grenade and it wouldn't have hurt of us. I threw it.
yeah,
Yeah.
true enough.
Stuff.
You eventually reach the back where there is a clear drop. You can't see how far. You can hear like undulating and like slimy moving happening down there.
Orgy.
Trig, no, don't do it. Don't. We need to go back to the ship now, Trig.
But we were chosen.
Knew it. I knew it.
What does it look like exactly is down there?
You can't. It just falls into a pitch black. The lights stop right over like overhead.
Do one of us have a light that we can light and drop?
I don't know.
My data pad. That's about it.
Or a flashlight, you know?
I have a lot of weird stuff.
You could use a light side point to give yourself a flashlight.
I could also drop a grenade.
That's true.
Let's try to be less.
You know what? I
my hunting goggles. Hunting goggles remove up to 2 black dice for darkness and stuff like that, fog and mists. Yep, that's right. There we go. And my vision is enhanced and magnified. Bam.
One of my pistols has like a little laser thing on it. I could aim a laser down there and see if I could see the point.
So, did Ogre say he can see?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Goggles.
That's it. So he flips the goggles on. Cora's probably putting an arm in front of Trig to be like, no, it's not. Let's not go all in yet.
He's about to jump in there.
And Ogre kind of makes his way over, leans off over the side just to kind of look down. And as the vision is kind of this black and white night vision that you see beyond, it drops a good while. However, it seems to land on like a pile of just glossy, slimy flesh.
What color? Oh, black and white, you said.
Yeah, you're seeing in black and white just because you're night visioning.
Glossy, slimy flesh, like one big blob of...
Just like intermittent, like mix of like just fleshy bits. Not like chewed up, but just like clearly part of the fish.
Can you communicate with it? You did buy that translator.
Yeah, I guess.
You're gonna try? You're just gonna try and talk?
I don't know if you remember how we procured that translator, but I think it was...
I don't remember.
You know?
Was it the guy?
The guy.
Oh,
put
yeah,
a grenade
okay.
in his hand.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Ogre took care of that asshole very quickly. So, Trig begins to try and speak with this thing through a translator, filing through language after language after language after language. It becomes very clear that it doesn't understand or give a shit. It doesn't respond.
I don't know if it's gonna talk to me.
Does anybody else want to do anything else? Or do you all decide to sit in the
around?
mount?
Do we see anything else that looks like we can like go anywhere other
The
than
only
that?
place you can go is back and down.
I guess we're going to have to go down, venture forward, see if we find any more answers.
Trig looks really excited by this, and he's like, and he kind of looks at Cora because he's like, "Can I jump?"
I don't want
After
to
you,
swim out of
Trig.
a fish's butt.
Okay. Does anybody jump?
No. You said, well, oh, I'm sorry. I thought you by down, you meant like it was like maybe a stairwell too?
No, I meant back and down the throat.
All right, then is it legit a throat? Like a...
It looks like it. It looks like it.
Oh, shit. I was thinking it was outside of the fish.
No, you're inside the mouth.
This is like a sarlacc pit. But
Yeah, but you're in the mouth of a fish.
Yeah,
Oh.
there's the only cybernetic thing I've noticed the lights.
That's the only thing here where you're currently at that you notice. But that's it. Does everybody just stand there? Does anybody jump?
Trig's going to the edge.
Going once?
If Cora doesn't stop.
Okay.
She's like looking at
Trig.
Cora for like approval, but like also looking down like eagerly, like he's just like,
I've been chosen!
yeah.
I'm gonna look to her
Holding
one more
your
time.
hand.
I'm gonna look to Trig and say, Womp tell me one more time.
Like the claw thing.
The claw!
Tell me one more time about the ancients, about the huts.
But the huts.
I guess Trig will just like start spieling a bunch of stuff off about the huts that he knows.
I'm assuming it's a lot of it's negative because they're huts.
Well, as much as he knows.
Okay.
Which I remember we did a bunch of lore checks, and I don't think I knew as much as you did.
Well, I mean,
but Trig knows the general like
perspective. But
yeah,
Trig.
They're like crime lords dealing slavery and drugs and weapons and that kind of nonsense.
Therefore, this fish is also a crime lord.
So as you're like saying a whole bunch of like really negative stuff about them, but like obviously your character would be rude, but negative stuff about them, the hand that had the grenade in it, I hold it over the opening and say,
He goes, no, and he's gonna like try to grab it from you.
oh, I mean, it's one of those, you're so small. It's one of those, I'm not actually dropping it. I'm making a point. You know what I mean? And so I'll kind of like push you back a little and still hold it over there and be like, Womfrat, my point is.
He's still trying to grab it, be like, no.
I'll pull my arm back over the ledge. My point is, I may be wrong about the ancients. I don't think I am, but I may be wrong. And according to you, I am. And here we are at the big green fish, and we don't know what this is for or why. We don't know what that's all about. Gesturing towards the submarine cybernetic fish thing that transported us down here.
You're pointing at the fish itself.
No, the one that brought us down.
The fish came up,
we're inside of it.
you, and you're in a fish.
Inside the fish.
We're inside the fish.
Then what are you jumping down into?
It's
the throat of the fish.
Further down.
We're
Oh my
going
God,
from the
I
mouth.
was so seeing this differently. Jesus Christ! My imagination was broken today.
Yeah, we went from the tongue to the throat.
Okay, so I'll still say, we don't know what this is or why.
I don't know what this is. This is the green fish. It's real. All the time I knew you didn't believe me.
This is a cybernetically enhanced
But
fish.
I knew it was real. And you know what? I know that your huts are real, and what I said is the truth. Those are real facts.
True facts.
This fish has robotic implants.
So do I.
Who was in the fish to install those lights? Who changes the light
That's
bulb?
what I want to find out. Don't you
I
want
don't know if the stomach is where we want to go to discover that.
Good cheer just inspired
Maybe the
me.
brain. We should just carve up.
Trig looks up.
I vote carve up.
Cause tummy
I'm sorry, Trig.
bad.
I want to respect your practices, but I'm not dying for this fish.
Carving up would be hard though because it's like a big fish.
It's better than being digested.
Oh yeah, if you're just gonna shoot the shit out of it, that's a different story.
It's almost why I'm kind of like, if we could rappel down, why I wouldn't be so afraid, because I just blow it up on the inside. I'll look at Trig and say, Womp Rat, I got half a mind to follow you down there.
You don't have a rope or anything on your survival kit?
I look at him.
Trig,
Look back.
you guys brought Trig's stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Trig will snatch his bag and then just start pulling stuff out of it. And
Takes Cora's clothing and makes a
I am gonna try to make an invention.
Ooh, what are you gonna make?
A ladder?
Some kind of device to let us. Let me know if you think this is possible, but I think it'd be cool is if I could make a platform that hovers and we could all stand on. And all it does is hover up and down.
And what does your ability specifically say?
It says, I need to go to my combat because it's under combat for some reason. I will just paste it in chat so that you can read it. And I have increased rarity. Oh,
As an action, the character may spend 2 destiny points, so you needed 1 more destiny point.
Oh yeah, we can't do that right now.
That's not our fault that you never, ever use them.
All right,
Never
use a
mind,
dark
Mike.
side point. Your weapon is broken, Scott.
No,
you have a light side.
I'm going to use a light side point to wish for more light side points.
No, but what you can do, and it's in the book, if there's a piece of equipment you don't have that you want, you can actually just use a light side point and say you have it.
Earlier. We could have
You're like, oh, thank God I brought this grappling kit.
Thank God I brought this gigantic flying fish hook.
Oh, I've got this green fish begone.
So you're saying we could light side up this little platform?
Yeah, you can just light side up having a way down.
Probably like
It'd be like hooks and you can just climb down.
I can spend a light side point if that's what you guys like. That's what I pull out. Is like.
Okay.
That's better than jumping.
Climbing. Yeah, okay.
Is it though?
Sure.
Okay.
I use
sure.
the light side point, and we have climbing gear.
So you pull out of your back. You're like, oh, I picked this up when I was on Tatooine, whatever. And you have a bunch, and you have to hook this thing, like you have to hook a spike, like a mechanical spike, into this thing's tongue, more or less. But yeah, just go right in.
We'll let Ogre jam it in.
But the thing does not react when you do that.
Yes.
Yeah, if it didn't react to me carving it up with thorn.
Yep. Nope. And the same thing. As you hammer these things into its body and it begins to bleed and juices leak out,
Be gentle.
it doesn't react and it continues to do what it's doing. Who's the first one down? Or do you all go down at the same time?
Trig will definitely volunteer to go down first.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not.
I want to let Maggie go first because it's her character's thing, but at the same time, who's going to stop her from just going? You know.
Fair enough.
So
Well, it looks like a soft landing down there. It's just flesh.
Cora, do you want to go first?
Let Trig go first. I will go very, very quickly after her. Him.
Okay.
All right.
He
Trig.
looks like excited.
Trig is like already holding on to it, and he makes his way down very quickly. Cora follows in suit, followed by the other two. Trig, as you place your hand on this thing, it is incredibly soft. It's squishy, very squishy, and no, not a lot of bounce to it, but there's a lot of give. And your feet sink a bit, and you're in this kind of, you got like a surface level puddle that covers the whole thing down here. But it's squishy and it splashes and it's kind of gross. Cora, you feel the same thing. You kind of sink into it, and it's like hard to pull your feet out of it, but it's not eating you or anything like that. And you're just.
I will not touch the
burning my
ground until
skin?
I see if they're being digested.
Sure.
Yeah.
You wait for how long? A few seconds?
two.
A day or two?
A day or two.
After a little while, you're pretty convinced this thing isn't gonna swallow them. They're not being swallowed.
All right.
Okay, you jump down. All right,
Climb.
Sion's down there. He climbs down, and once again, you kind of squish, and then Ogre thereafter. And you both
I
are
did not
standing
bring
here.
enough beers for this.
As Ogre's feet touch the platform on the bottom, and he steps away, and you guys are all kind of like looking around. You're surrounded by more flesh. As he touches the ground, more bioluminescent lights begin to light up. This time circularly around you, and it lights up the area before you.
I am not a doctor, but that is not normal fish tummy behavior.
And when Siam says that out loud, you all begin to realize that as you begin to walk, all of a sudden you try and pull one of your feet free, and it's stuck. And you try to pull the other one free.
I can't
Cora,
move.
carve us out. Cora,
And
carve
it's
us out.
stuck.
Cora's gonna start carving herself out.
Sure.
I'll start carving Siam out by flicking on auto fire.
I'll take it at this point. It's better to be digested.
Cora, you immediately jam Thorn into the sickening belly of this thing that is weirdly like taking you in. Even though it's solid, it seems to be bending and enveloping you more or less. As you stick Thorn in and you yank it out, there's a large suction noise as you pull Thorn out, and it's a bit of an effort to do it to pull Thorn. Do you continue to just like stab away, perforate around it?
I'm gonna lose thorn.
I'm just asking.
No.
Slowly but surely, your entire bodies are starting to slowly be sucked underneath. It's a slow moving, gross ogre. It's slow moving. It slowly crawls up to your knees, then slowly up your thighs, and a warm wetness penetrates your layers of clothing. Unfortunately for Cora.
Stop.
And it's
Not
slowly
enough reasons to use the word penetrate.
the first one to go though is going to be Trig because he's much smaller. It comes up to his chest, then up to his shoulders. Does Trig have any last words before it crawls up to his mouth? And
Better be sorry.
it chose me.
Yeah, that's kind of. Yeah, he's excited for what's next.
Cora would legitimately be crying, like like panicking, and she would reach out for Siam's hand, like she'd want to be holding hands.
Siam would hand you a beer.
Okay, if I hear Cora crying, Trig is gonna be like, "It's gonna be okay. We're chosen."
Hate you. Hate you. Hate you.
Cora, with tears welling in her eyes and trickling down her face, reaches for Siam just as her shoulder and head are the only things left above. Siam, equally so. Does Siam reach out as well as she begins to sink?
Yeah, but all the while you hear him just fucking Trig and this fucking fish. God damn this planet. This.
Your fingertips gently brush each other as you are both then sucked down. An ogre, angry, probably.
Ogre's the one who doesn't get sucked.
And gun out.
Yep. I was gonna say, once Trig disappeared, I'd probably look to them and be like, give them the nod, and actually start
firing away.
Hell. Yeah.
Okay, and he's breaking hell. It's gushing liquids as you're riddling this thing with blaster shots. A huge explosion rocks that Siam and Cora can just catch the glimpse of the explosion before being brought under. The skin. Trig's already beyond. And then the last one to go, giving it hell as much as he can, is Ogre, just unleashing before he too succumbs to the suckage of this fleshy bit.
Did you succumb to the suck?
Edge.
The fleshy bit.
Some time goes as you're gasping. All of you are gasping for air. You're clearly being moved. You can feel the actual esophagus or whatever it is that you're in moving you and inching you away from where you were until eventually all four of you are deposited in a small circular kind of bank where you are alone.
Fecal matter.
Yes, obviously fecal matter. You are alone. There is air here with a little pile of water and some and whatnot, but you are each in your own individual little circular containment.
Are we in a sack?
Siam? Hello?
Nobody can hear or respond to anything.
Everyone's yelling TPK in chat.
Thanks, Maggie. You ruined the game.
Again, Maggie kills everybody. What feels like hours pass alone in this thing. You stab and experiment and even take shots at it, but it doesn't seem to ruin whatever containment you're put in, until eventually the fish itself does stop moving. You can feel it.
We killed it.
Trig is like doing the weird fish dance inside of
the. You're just doing the prayer.
Cora probably would give that a try too.
Sure,
like,
absolutely.
He's trying everything to get out of there.
In his hand, and he's doing the dance.
Yeah, I'm desperately trying to think about what Ogre's doing in his cell.
So. Trig being the first one, this circular containment thing that you're in actually maintains its shape. You don't get sucked into the flesh, but it actually begins to move, and you can see the flesh itself moving until eventually it's popped out. When you look around, it's actually the side of the fish out of one of its gills. You had somehow moved up and around and shot out one of its gills, and before you is something that is, once again, to Trig, awe-inspiring. You are deep below the water, and you are plopped out, more or less, on a platform, metallic platform. You are in a dome under the water, and this fish has breached the surface to what looks like a docking site. As you first plop out, followed shortly by Cora, then Siam, and then Ogre. It is a facility.
You all see Trig's just doing the dance and looking at the fish.
Cora is probably laughing maniacally. She's just like, oh my god, we're alive. Oh my fucking god. She would like drop to her knees and like hug Trig and then like look expectantly for Siam and Ogre.
Siam looks at the gills that came out and was like, at least we weren't shat out.
But the most important thing, while there is structure here and there's clearly a few buildings, it's not the size of a city. It's just like 2 or 3 buildings. The dock encircles the entire area, and each dock platform has a gigantic green fish docked at each one. Countless from where you can see Trig, this supposed god. There are now 20, 30, maybe even 40 of them all lined
Trig
around.
Turns around and looks at Cora, who's like still hugging him.
Yeah.
And Trig like hugs her back and is like,
I told you we were the chosen ones.
What is this place, Trig?
In the darkness, Misa, so happy to see you. Please no.
Then I guess Cora
No,
would get
no.
up and start doing
this is
the
totally giving me
dance
vibes.
prayer.
I feel you got feel
You know,
chat.
Trig's got like the most excited little nasty boner right now too. This is so fun.
Oh yeah, he's got a green thing.
She would get up and she would just start doing the dance prayer with him. Like,
Yeah, if you start, he'll get in.
She's
on.
laughing.
Siam will give Ogre like the last of the 2 beers he's got left. We're back where we started.
Only this time I'm covered in fish guts. I don't think that's as sexy.
Scott, you're muted.
I was just hurling a grenade in a room that I was standing in and blasting out, getting covered with fucking fish blood and everything everywhere. Like think about the hell that was raining on me as I went down. I think I look a little perturbed. When he hands me the beer, it's one of those things where I look down at it like vacantly, and then as like Siam like clinks the necks together, I'll be like, yeah. And then I'll just like mindlessly drink the beer as I'm trying to put 2 and 2 together.
We're just looking at this row of like tons of fish, right? That's cool.
It's just all of them gently swimming in place, all of them brilliant green, and from at least
Are
here,
other people coming out of the fish?
you see nobody else.
Okay.
Again, not an expert, but I don't believe fish normally digest and shit you out of the
Gills.
breathy part.
Well, we either need to take a break or end it here. I don't know what we need to do next. I don't know.
I want to give Maggie the ending she deserves.
I agree.
I shoot her in the head.
Well, the end.
Trig's a guy, so who'd you shoot?
There, depending on choices and what ends up going on from here, if I was to estimate, and this is a DM estimate, so fuck, who knows how good it is, another hour, maybe 2, depending on how it goes. We did shoot the shit a lot today, but that just happens when you don't play for like 3 weeks. So I leave it in players' hands what we want to do from here on out. I know Maggie...
Let's discuss it over a break because we all agree that it's just a break right
Okay,
now.
we'll take a break real quick. We'll discuss what we want to do, and then we'll return with an answer for you.
Were you expecting them to like let me jump down the hole by myself?
I kind of expected some jumping. I expected a couple other things, but we're here, so we'll pause. We'll discuss with each other, and then
10 more hours, someone said.
good lord, we'll be back.
Lots of fleshy suck left, everyone.
God damn.
stopped all the little.
She does. All right. Hey, welcome back, everybody. We made a decision. We will return next week for the last final Maggie session. We truly say farewell to Trig. And we'll be back tomorrow.
Maggie for one more week.
We get Maggie for one more week. And tomorrow night we're actually playing Dark Sun. One of us. We've got the farewell session for Dave tomorrow night. So
he'll also be getting naked and dancing while holding a fish.
Eider's like 113. It's
yeah,
like
but physically,
naked and dancing
like physically, he's like 102 though.
These are all of Mike's fanfics, not ours.
Master Roshi gets buff though. Yeah, but then he like when he fights, he gets like redonkulously muscular out of nowhere.
It's out of nowhere.
He has all of that stored somewhere.
It's been 3 episodes powering up first, Mike.
That's true. I guess not in the new iteration though. All right, well, we're going to go around the room. We're going to say our hellos and goodbyes. So we'll start with the wonderful Miss Cora, Doxy. Where can people find you? What are you doing this week?
Hi, I'm Zero Doxy. It is Wednesday, my dudes. That means that tomorrow I just have my own stream. But on Friday, if you like watching me play D&D, I'm playing a character that I love so much. Her name is Persephone. We're doing it's called Zweihander. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It
really sounds familiar, but I think it's
sword in Diablo 3.
It's the one with
I know what that
monster book that is like huge. I'll talk to you guys about it later. But it's over on the Encounter Roleplay episode. I like to call that character. She's 10% witch and 90% bitch. Phenomenal, and I think that you guys would really like her, so you guys should check me out over there. Otherwise you can find me on my channel where I shoot this thing and people give me money.
Wonderful. Wade, what about you?
Dark Sun tomorrow, where Mortifer has he's in a very interesting predicament.
He is. I love where he is right now.
Is it more interesting than Mathis's predicament, or say Jack?
Jack is just fucked. What do you want? Like he's in the astral plane. Listen, he can't do anything.
Jack fucked Jack, and Jack fucked Mortifer. Again, another one of Mike's fanfics. I just get always wrapped up in them somehow. If you guys aren't caught up on Dark Sun, catch up. Start binging now, because tomorrow night's going to be insane. Other than that, every Tuesday I'm doing a podcast with Mark and Bob. We had Ethan on as a special guest this past week, where we talk for 2 or 3 hours about gaming news and random bullshit. Then we play games for several hours. Other than that, I make YouTube videos on youtube.com/LordMinion777 and stream on twitch.tv/Minion777. That's about it. I don't wear pants. I wear shorts.
Hell yeah.
Boom.
Sweet. Hell yeah. No, again, baby. Scott, what about you? Where can people find you?
I'm wearing jeans.
Scott, what about you? What are you doing this week?
I got socks. I got black socks on now. Is that weird?
No, because I get it. They're comfy.
Right.
It shows the weird ogre stains easier.
My name's Delric. You can find me by Googling Delric. And I play video games and do other stuff.
Hey, what have you been playing recently?
I'm really trying to finish Valkyria Chronicles, and it's taken way too long. But I did do a little personal challenge, because like I leaned way too heavily on my love goddess of murder, Alicia. So I was like, when we were doing the campaign that was more or less reenacting the storming the beaches of Normandy, I was like, I'm gonna do this whole thing with nobody but her, literally just her. I'm gonna do this one did it, absolutely did it, and I was so like happy. I was like, oh my god, I did it! This is amazing! I love her so much. Next cutscene, my sister died, and I was like, oh, wow,
sadness.
Yeah.
Anyways,
all right, well then.
and other games.
And our dearest Trig, aka Maggie, where can people find you?
Hey, you can find me at Margaret.
Not here.
In all of the places. I'm kind of on a hiatus because, as we talked about before, I have a new job and I'm really focusing on my career, and I'm trying to be less stressed out because I was doing a little too much before. And I'm just trying to take a care of myself time. So if you want to check out the stuff that I'm doing, you can follow me in all of the places over there, and I will let you know what I'm doing. And if you want to come check out the game that I'm working on Ashes of Creation. If you want to go check out the game, and we're gonna make the most kick-ass MMORPG that you have ever played in your life. So come check it out. And I will be on Night Witches on Saturday. If you want to come check it out at Geekspace TV over on Twitch, and that'll be at I think 3 p.m. Pacific, where I will be bombing Nazis.
That's the way to go, honestly.
Kills.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. As we said, we'll be back tomorrow night with Dark Sun.
Before we end, I just really want to call to everybody's attention. We ended with Trig and Cora dancing and laughing like their lives were saved because they were. I just love it. It
was great.
Love that image. Only they're
tired. I'm drinking and watching.
I want fan art of this entire episode because
this entire series, really.
I'm down. I would love to see some fan art of it.
We do not need the Trig boner. Please censor.
I want pictures of like the fish. Like I'm imagining something amazing.
Me too.
Like just huge compared to
Patreon us and please send Trig some underwear for the last episode.
Yeah, there you go. Spend your last bit of Patreons over on Trig before you give it to Siam, I guess.
I'm not taking Trig's underwear.
Okay, fair enough. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow night. Goodbye.